before we do all this activity. Okay. Um, so far we have learned the home page and the detailed stats we have already brought in. And in the last class, we have got the Asia continent file. But on the Asia continent file, what happened exactly is there is some problem with the top 5 top N, right? So we have stuck there. Now, what I'll do is I'll keep that particular part aside. I'll deal with that on the last um, few minutes. Okay, that's going to be a quick fix, and then I'm going to share you another data. But however, before we do that, now I want you guys to concentrate more on the visualizations. So now moving forward, we are going to see more number of visualizations. How do we deal all these visualizations and how do we ensure the data is proper? Okay. So now what we are going to do, let's say I'm going to share my screen now. Okay. And so now you guys were able to see my screen, everyone?
Yes.
All right. Let's click on the transform data one more time, everyone. Click on the transform data. Okay. So once you click on the
Okay.
transform data, you're going to see all the informations here, right?
Yes.
Okay. So before we go ahead and then plot some data or do something. Now, very first thing what I want you guys to do is we are going to create a simple table here. Okay, we are going to create a simple table. Now, what is that simple table? How does it work for us? Okay, and how is that we are going to do? Do you remember the duplicate step that you guys have done? In the other queries, there is a duplicate step. There is a duplicate table,
Yes. Yeah.
right? So on the duplicates table, now what I want you guys to do is click on the duplicate, which means double click on the duplicate table. So the duplicate table comes in, right? Now click on the choose columns, everyone. Okay. So click on the choose columns and again, click on the choose column step here.
Okay.
So now you should see all the column names are appearing here.
Yes.
Okay. Before that, let me just take a look at this data one more time. Do we have the data for everything? Okay, we didn't have the data. Okay, there is a table that I created. Okay, on the append one. Just give me a minute. I'm just looking at the data. What do we have? What we didn't have? Okay. So now a reference. Huh. Okay, no problem at all. Then we are good with this data. So so far no issues. So I mean I'm just looking at all this information. So let's keep all this aside. Let's not do anything on the duplicate because I was thinking something else we might come across, but it's okay. So just click on the close and apply. Let's go ahead with the different visuals. Let's see all the different visuals. Let's not waste the time on this. Click on the close and apply. And once you click on the close and apply, you will be redirected back to the Power BI screen. Okay. And
Yeah.
open a page one and then rename this as visuals one. I renamed it as visuals one. Everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Shrikant, could you show this one more time quickly?
Which
Because
one?
my visuals one tab just opened it now because This is the file that you're showing is on day 3 Power BI desktop, right? I had
No,
saved on day 4 Power BI desktop.
sorry, my bad. I could have saved it as day 4. I'll just keep this day 4.
Oh, okay.
Day 4 file. Abhi theek hai?
Yeah, and then from the new tab, what did you do?
No, nothing. I created a new tab called Visuals 1.
That's it?
Yeah. So
Oh,
is there a blank canvas on your screen?
yes, yes.
Yeah. So follow from here properly. So we should be good.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing, the first visual that we are going to see here on this screen is stake bar chart. Okay. So today we are going to see all the visuals now on this class. That's the very first thing. And once I cover up all the visuals, then I'm going to come back to the Asia and then fix the top end thing. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So now first thing we are going to click on the stake bar chart. So click on the stake bar chart. There you should see there is a data coming up on your visual canvas with a blank like this stake bar chart. Okay. So what I'm going to do is on the stake bar chart, I'm going to bring the continents onto the x-axis. Continent onto the x-axis. And on the y-axis, there should be some measure. So I'm going to bring the cost in USD. Or, okay, sorry, my bad. It should have been the other way around. I'm sorry. Cost in USD in the y-axis, and then, array, come on. What's happening with the system today? Continent on y-axis, and then cost in USD onto the x-axis. Right. This is how the data should look like. Okay. So put the continent under the y-axis and cost in USD under the x-axis. And once I do that, I'm going to change the cost in USD. Okay, I'm going to change the cost in USD to average. So now the graph looks better, much better. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to do a minimal changes on this. When I say the minimal changes, I'm going to select this visual and go to the format visual here. Okay. And all I'm just doing is I'm going to change the bars, the color of the bars to red in color like this. And the data labels, you can switch on the data label. So you can see the data labels also coming up onto the chart, or let's say on the visual. Okay. And the values and everything, let's keep it the same. Nothing to worry about that. And this is the only thing that I have done. Okay. And on the y-axis, I'm just making them bold, give Calibri, and then give a name that looks much more better.
What is the data label that you gave?
The data labels I have just added, switch on the data label. So you should see the data labels here.
And below the options we are supposed to do, huh?
Okay, under the visual, you'll have the data label. Okay. The data labels are on. That's it.
Yeah, okay, that's it on.
Yeah.
And then after that, you did go to bars.
Go to the y-axis. Bars ka
Okay.
color change kiya tha, and then y-axis I
Uh-huh.
just switched on. X-axis I'm going to switch off. I'm switching off the x-axis so that this looks like this. Okay.
Shrikant,
Yes.
under visualizations, you have the bar, the chart design enabled, right? There. Now I got it. Okay. I wasn't able to find that option to make color changes. Got it.
Oh, okay. You need to click on the format your visual.
Yeah. Got it.
Under the visual, what you're going to do is you're going to put the y-axis. You're going to switch on the y-axis, and then under the values, I changed the font and the font size, and I made them bold. That's the first thing I have done on the values. Okay.
The values, where is the value? Where?
Under
Change
the
to.
y-axis,
Got it.
font change किया था,
Calibration.
font color, and then made bold.
Bold.
And इसी के अंदर title भी है,
Okay.
title switch off करूंगा. So when I
Yeah.
switch off the title, the continent, the छोटा continent is gone.
Switch it off. Okay.
So
Title
that's on
also
the
we need to switch
y-axis.
off, right?
Sorry.
Title also we need to switch off.
If you switch off the title, then what people understand, like what is the graph that you are plotting?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The title we need to put the name, no?
Title is already been given there. Average of cost in USD by continent.
Yes. Okay.
So only thing is y-axis ka under title switch off kiya. And so because if you see the difference, when I click on the title, you can see there is a continent here coming up on the screen on the visual.
Yeah.
When I switch up that, the continent is gone. I know it is by continent, and we are already mentioning it average cost in USD by continent. Continent can never be put in numbers, right? It is a text format. So that's the reason that doesn't make sense. So y-axis हो गया, x-axis को off किया और x-axis के अंदर title भी off किया था मैंने.
X-axis. Okay.
So title यहाँ पे average cost in USD नीचे आते थे. So you can switch off that also, which doesn't make sense because the major title has already been available. So that's on the x-axis. And the other part, what I have done is I went down, changed the color of the bars to red in color. I mean, according to the theme. And then I switched on the data label. That's all. And I didn't do any formatting on the data label. And that's it. My graph is ready. Or my visualization is ready. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we done so far till here?
Yes.
Okay. How about Shekhar and Sarada?
Yes.
Shekhar? Okay. Right. So we have done the first visual. So now you can see how the stake bar chart looks like. So why we are doing all the visuals, I'm giving you the sample visuals here so that next time whenever you're dealing with your real-time data, so you guys can understand what kind of visual would be a better. But along with that, when you do the visual, you will also see certain features here. So then you can decide which kind of visual you can use it. So usually kya hoga, whenever you want to do with the real-time database, if you want to apply a visual, the very first thing that comes to your mind, if I apply, how does it work? And you might have not dealt with that earlier, so you might not be able to understand which visual might be proper. So that's why we are giving all the sample visuals here so that it is easy for you.
Srikant, I'm not able to see the country name just next to the bars. In my
You would have switched off the y-axis. Switch on the y-axis.
1 second. It's switch on. It's
And
on only.
you're not able to see all this.
The country names I'm not able to see.
Which country names? Country names or continent name?
Sorry, continent names. Europe and Oceania, Africa.
Right.
Africa.
Share your screen.
1 second. Yeah, here.
Okay, have you refreshed everything? Just click on the refresh on the top once.
Hmm.
Go to the data view on the left hand side. Go to the data view below the report view.
Below the data.
Left hand side, visual के left hand side में तीन views है ना. Go to the
Okay.
go to
Yeah,
the data view.
data. Mhm.
Expand the second one.
Which one?
Expand the okay. Move to the right hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Keep moving to the right hand side.
It's over. That's it.
Okay, everything is good. Okay, go to your model view once. Model view.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just take a look at this. Okay, this is also good. Now go to the report view. Select the visual and go to the yeah, click on that.
Here, scat. No.
No, wait.
Mm. Up in one continent.
Go to the format to your visual. I believe you might have done something there. Okay. So first thing you'd see, I was anticipating this, but anyways, under the y-axis, you see the values, right?
Values, yeah.
Okay, इसके नीचे color है, white color में है. वो change that to black color.
Okay, you see.
And then switch off the title.
Yeah. Shit, so stupid it is there.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let me share my screen back.
Yes.
Okay, so far we have done till here. Now what you need to do is we are going to just add a label to this particular visual. So I'll go to the insert. I'm going to the insert tab and I'm going to click on text box. Okay. And on the text box, I'm going to mention this as stacked bar chart. Reason why? This is our first stacked bar chart graph, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And post which I'm going to just go to the general on this, or go to the same thing. Or let's say click on the for plot area like this, plot area background or something. Let me just take a look at this. This is okay. In general, effects, background, I'll give the black color or red in color. So
Hmm.
not the black color. Border, visual border on. Yeah, that's it. This is what I'm expecting. The visual border on. I did this on the format here, visual, general, effects, the visual border on, and can give any color again like this. So this should look like this, the stake bar chart with this data. Okay. Control S.
You gave only visual border, no?
Yep.
Effects under effects.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the stake bar chart. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So now that I'm going to add one more text visual here. So I'm going to copy the same stake bar chart visual, what I already have given the image, this text box. I made a copy and I'm making a duplicate of it, which is Control V. Okay. So I'm making a copy of it. Okay. And after making a copy of it, let's try and then see. I'll keep the same thing here. I'm going to add one more notes. Okay. So just make a copy of this and then keep it here down. Okay. And I'm giving the left alignment. So we are going to make a notes here. Okay. So do this till here and then let's discuss something about this visual. Right? Are we ready?
Yes.
Shrikant, how did you copy the text box?
Control C and Control V. Just select this text box, select the text box, do a Control C, and then again do a Control V.
Okay.
And drag that below and then change that to the notes. So we are going to keep this. अभी बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हैं और अगली बार अब मेहनत इतना मेहनत करने का जरूरत नहीं. You are going to just do it in a simple ways. Okay?
Okay.
Done, Mita?
It's asking me inside the box, ask a question about your data.
Ah, because you are doing the question and answer. Remove it. Okay. एक सिंपल कंट्रोल सी. एक देखो यहाँ पे मैंने सेलेक्ट किया था. टेक ए कंट्रोल सी एंड कंट्रोल वी. आ गया ना. ये जो कंट्रोल वी, आई एम जस्ट मूविंग दिस टेक्स्ट बॉक्स डाउन and I'm going to rename it. I have all the privileges to rename it. Just rename this. Give a backspace and then click on the rename, or you can just do it like this. Done.
Yeah.
No.
Delete that complete everything, whatever you have done. Suppose if you already there is another text box, delete that and then redo this job by Control C and Control V. Just select and do Control C and Control V. That should be good. Shekhar and Sharada, you guys are good?
Yeah.
Okay.
The moment I'm clicking on the state bar chart to copy it, it's giving me Calibri 18A, bold, IU,
That's
those that
okay.
box.
You see my screen. That's okay. It is giving you. That's okay. Fine.
Hmm.
This is coming down. That's okay. Just select that Control C on your keyboard. Do a Control C.
Control C, okay,
Control V immediately.
okay.
You should see another stake bar chart. Move it to the right hand side.
No, there is none.
Fine. Leave it. Do one thing. Delete everything, whatever you have done, and then just retain that stake bar chart heading like that. You don't worry about anything.
Okay.
Go to the insert. Go to the insert. Start from the fresh. Click on the text box. Now there should be a text box. Go to the insert. Click on the text box. Is there a new text box created?
Yes.
Mention notes there.
Hmm.
Okay. Now you will type. What you can do is you can select the stake bar chart again.
Hmm.
Go to the home tab. Under the clipboard group, you have the format painter.
Hmm.
Click the format painter and then click on this notes text box.
Hmm.
Does everything applied the same way?
Hmm.
Is it okay now? Working? Good.
Huh.
Right. All
Hmm.
right. So the notes mene niche rakha. Okay. Now let's see what is that notes we are talking about here. And eventually, when you're doing this, for certain visuals, the notes might be bigger, the notes might be smaller. I'll explain it. But what you are going to do is, I'll just give you this activity. You can do it again later, but keep it the same way. Now let's see what is that we are going to look onto this visual. What else we can do on the visual part? So far we have discussed how do you build the visuals, and this is the place we are keeping our data. The second part, what we are going to do is we have done on the format visual, wherein you're changing the colors, hiding the titles, and then formatting the fonts and everything. But what we haven't touched base so far is the analytics. What we have in touch base is your analytics, or let's say the analysis of your visual. Now let's click on the visual on the analysis, everyone. When you select the visual, when you select the visual, you have to click on the analysis. Without selecting the visual, you can, if you click on the analysis, it will be blank. Select the visual and click on the analysis. Now, do you see the constant lines and error bars here, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So remember this point, each and every visual in the Power BI comes up with the different kinds of analysis. Now, these are not the constants what you are seeing here. Okay. So this is not the same for every visual. It keeps changing. But for this particular visual, what is that we are going to look at is a constant line. So what does the constant line analysis say? For instance, I know that every continent is giving up every one of the information, correct? Every continent is having some average
Yes.
cost in the USD, or let's say the cost in the USD.
Yeah.
What we are going to do is we are okay. Let's say at one point in time, I wanted to see for every market there is a baseline. Let's say what do you say that what is the word? So for every market there could be one simple target line, correct? What if I run a
Yes.
business? What I do is I'm running the business successfully around the world, but of course there will be a target. Without a target, there's no point for running my
Correct.
business,
Right.
right? So there is a target. Now I want to see and I want to plot on the visual that did I achieve the target as per my understanding? Did I achieve the target around the globe? This is what I would like to see, and I want to plot
Okay.
it on the visual. So for that, what
Mm-hmm.
we are going to do is we are going to add a constant line that says every time, every month, or every time, whenever I want to see the stats of this, there should be some information that says, yes, I have achieved the target. So what's my target line? I can add the target line here. So for that, what I did, I click on the constant line and click on the
Mm-hmm.
add line. So you could see there is a constant line added. Now this constant line, you can see on the visual, there is a blue color dotted line appearing.
Yeah.
So right
Mm-hmm.
now we are going to deal with this constant line, how you can make it. Now two things, I can give a value to this constant line directly. How? Click on the line here. When I click on the line, under the constant line, when I click on the line, there is a value. I can give a value here like, uh, let's say $50 is my target, or let's say 35 is my target. I gave $35
Mm-hmm.
is my target. Now, do you see that the blue color line comes at 35 plotted
Yes.
for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so this shows my average. However, sometimes there could be an understanding where I don't want to see this value. Okay, this is one way. So there are two things. Just understand this way. Okay, how we are doing this method. One, there could be a standard target for me every time that I need to achieve $35 as an average in every market. So I'm giving this method. Otherwise, let me put it in another way. You might come and ask me, okay, Shrikant, I don't want to look at this way. I want to look at it in another way, wherein I want to see what is the average sales across the globe.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? Across the globe, which means put together Europe, Oceania, Africa, NAM, SAM, and Asia. Can I make something dynamic that can I see what is the average line for all the regions? Then what I would do is on the same constant line, I'll click on the fx function here. I click on the fx
Mm-hmm.
function. And when I click on the fx function, it says the field value. I'll keep it the same. Instead of count of continent, I'm going to use cost in USD. I'll type cost in USD here, and I'm going to select it from the append one table. But I won't give the sum, rather I will give the average. Okay. So on the FX button, when I click on this, this is how my stat should look like. Okay. So when I click on OK, what happens? Now, do you see an average line is coming up here?
Mm.
Now, this is your dynamic way of adding it. So first thing I have told you, either you can give a target line directly. So no problem. The target line is a constant line. It doesn't move anywhere. But
Okay.
otherwise around, I can see the average of all the sales for each of the continent. Now there is a line here. Now let's see
Mm.
how do we format this particular line. यहाँ पे मैंने color को I can give a solid color like let's say black color, and instead of dashed I can change this to solid, and I can put this or in front or behind B, yeah, in front B, anything. Okay, and I can reduce the transparency of this so that it looks dark, or if I keep this 50% transparent, it looks bit like this. Okay, and you can give a data label for this. Here you can give a data label, wherein what does the data label say? Right, it is on the left hand side position, that is fine. Vertical above, everything it looks good. The color I want to give this red. Okay, so this is all the offerings that I have got. Now do you see the line is updated automatically?
What did you do under the data label?
Under the data label, I just updated the changed the font color, that's all.
Okay. Mm.
Change the font color to 10.5 10.82, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Now everyone got this data label, everyone?
Yes.
I want you to write in the notes stating that this is constant line. Write in the notes as constant line. Got it?
Yes.
Right. On the same visual, on the analysis, you are also seeing the error bars, but I don't want you to look into the error bars because this is of no use. Honestly speaking, this is of no use. Okay. So, but there is some information that deals with the scientific data. That is when the error bars can be utilized, but not at this point in time. So you can ignore this. Whatever you see, the constant line is the best one. Now, the second part is this is my constant line, what I have done so far. Now, do you observe next to the constant line, there is a number called 1 for the same visual?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What does this 1 denotes? So this one denotes that you can add multiple constant lines here. It's not just one, you can add multiple constant lines. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the moment once you add multiple constant lines here, okay, this keeps on changing the number. So it will tell you there are 2 constant lines or there are 3 constant lines. This is for the user to understand how many constant lines that you have created and you have got more information. So if I want to add one more line, I'll click on add line and do the same step. So I can create one more constant line here.
Mm.
Got it?
Yeah.
Now, for the stake bar chart, there is only one constant line which is being given on the analysis part. So now you can just keep this aside and then click on control it so that your stake bar chart is completed.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, how about remaining Shekhar and Sonu? You guys are good? Shekhar and Sharda. The
Yes.
right. So now let's look at the next visual, which is next to the stake bar chart. There is something called the stake column chart. Click on the same stake column chart. Slightly move to the right hand side of it. I'm just moving it to the right hand side. And on the staked column chart, now again you have got the x-axis and y-axis. Now this time we are going to keep it in the reverse method. Kyunki staked column chart may we have give y-axis as continent and x-axis as average. Now on the column chart, we are going to reverse this. Okay. On the x-axis, you are going to put the continents and you are going to bring the y-axis with the cost in USD. Rather, I'm going to change the average of it. Okay.
Mm.
Tell me if this visual is ready like this.
Once you select, what did you do? Next one?
Okay. Okay. First thing, I brought the visual here, staked column chart.
Uh-huh.
Then I selected this visual and brought in the continent and y-axis. So continent onto the x-axis and average cost in USD onto the y-axis.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
this
you
is how
take it
the,
average. Okay.
yes, I took the average. Got it?
Um,
On the y-axis, when you bring in the cost in USD, you can change this to the average like this.
cost of USD, no?
Yeah, cost of USD from the
Cost in
append one table.
USD, right? On the
Yeah.
y-axis, right?
Yes.
Okay, why am I not getting this?
Are you using the stake column chart?
Yes, 1 second. So continent on the x-axis.
Yeah. Bring the cost in USD onto the y-axis, and then you need to change this to the average.
Mhm. I'm not getting that average column here.
Is your cost in USD in number format? It should be in the number format.
Yes, sigma is there. So I
Okay.
selected continent into the x-axis, and y-axis I selected the cost in USD.
Right.
But when I click on the cost in USD, I'm not getting that average bar.
Did have you
Something different.
have you clicked on this drop down?
Yes, but
What else you are seeing there?
let me tell you. Uh, Something remove field, rename to this visual, move to this is coming on the y-axis.
Yeah, below that you should see sum and average also.
No, only that much is there. Let me share with this with the screen to you so that.
From where you have brought the cost in USD? From the append one table?
Okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, append one only.
Okay. Share the screen. Let me see.
1 second.
How about remaining guys? You guys were able to do the same thing? Mita, Shekhar, and Sharda, you guys got it?
Yes.
So here, see, suppose from the append one, I took the continent into the x-axis.
Okay. Now, just give me a minute.
Hmm.
Now, do you understand what you guys actually what you are doing? This is
Hmm.
what the mistake you are doing. If you would have followed whatever I have told, it should have been in a simple way. Select the visual and then change the visual to the second visual on the top, second row.
This one?
Yeah.
The second one, not the first one,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, we are talking about the stake column chart.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Now change that, now reverse that cost USD into Y and this thing to that. Drag it to the above, or yeah, you can bring it like that, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now change the cost in USD to average.
Now it's there. What was my mistake? I have selected this one, huh?
Yes, we are talking
I
about
should have
stake
said.
column chart. You are doing the stake bar chart.
Okay. Fine. Got it now.
Okay, you need to be bit careful when you are doing all this.
Yes.
All right, so now we have done the average cost in the USD by continent, but this is with the stake column chart. Now what you guys can do is a simple job, a very simple job. Select the graph on the left hand side. Select this visual stake column bar chart on the left hand side. Under the home tab, under the clipboard group, you see the format painter brush. Click on the format painter and then apply the same format to the next visual.
Hmm. Same red color theme it's coming.
Now, are you investing your time again on doing all the stuff what you have done earlier on the first graph?
No, it's simple.
How much time you have saving here? You're at least saving 10 minutes of your time rather than going behind all the options and doing everything.
Correct.
Right. Now that what I want you to do is I want you to again, okay, Mita, if you're not able to do this, you can always go to the insert text box and then you can just mention now staked column chart.
We will copy this again.
Yeah, you can do it. Just
Okay.
Shubhamita is actually facing a bit of issue earlier, right? So that's the
Hmm.
reason why. Otherwise around, you can actually copy and make it. So that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So now on the staked column chart, like how you have got on the staked bar chart, you should also see the same analytics. And let's see if you have few more. Right, you have got the same constant line here. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to repeat the same task, but rather I'm going to take the same notes. I'm just making a copy of this notes, paste this notes again the same way, and I'm updating it here. So that now you should understand, whenever you say come back and see this particular visual, you should understand that TK is visual में the data looks like this, the visual looks like this, and then the analysis lines, you have got the constant line. Make sense?
Hmm.
How about the other three?
One minute. I'm doing that.
Okay, please. Mita, done?
Yes.
Okay. Shaker, only thing is we have not added the constant line here. That's it. In fact, the first row visuals all look similar. Whenever you are doing, they all look similar. Only thing is I believe that you are understanding you know the difference between the staked column chart and then um, normal column chart and the bar chart. Clustered.
But
That's what we say, clustered.
which one is usually preferred, like stick bar chart or stick column chart? Like, how can we? It's the data is very similar, right? The content
Yeah,
is also similar. So, which one would be more preferable, like to visualize?
right. Now I'm coming to the same point.
Okay.
So far, what you have done is, right. So far, you have done is you have just added the continents, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now that what uh, I don't want to put more information here, but if I want to put the information, I can still do it. Now, let's say if I bring the countries onto this country onto this, I brought the country onto this. Okay.
In this chart, right?
On the same chart, I brought the country.
Okay.
Okay. So now, do you see this? All this are staked up now.
Hmm.
You see everything is staked up. So
Yeah.
what does this actually indicate? The staked one. Um, Staked और clustered में दो ही difference होता है. In this case, when I'm talking about Oceania, there are different multiple continents which have been updated here. Multiple countries are there. Okay. Let's
Hmm.
say the New Zealand and there is one more Australia. Now these are staked together, which are put up and down. When it comes to the cluster chart, they will be next to each other, not up and down. Stake का मतलब क्या होता है कि one after one by one, one by one, one by one.
Hmm.
Asia में you have multiple countries here, correct? Each country value has been appended here one by one like this. ठीक है, don't worry. I know the result is the answer is not still satisfied, but do it till here if you guys are good. So if you are done with this, then what we are going to do is we are going to see, okay, the next version of that. Then you will understand what will be the difference between a staked and a clustered one. So how does it actually looks like?
So,
How did it get numbers?
How did I get the numbers?
Huh?
It's
It should
because
be actually.
no, the numbers will be there because it has been data labels are been on.
Okay, okay. So let me 1 second, let me check.
you can put this kind of image. So what we supposed to?
Detail equals.
For this kind of image, what you are supposed to do?
Yeah, I missed that part actually. As talking with that this text box and all.
No, kuch bhi nahi hai. What I did is I selected this visual. You have the country master.country, right?
Yeah.
I simply dragged and dropped it onto this visual. That's all.
Okay.
I simply dragged and dropped onto the visual. That's all I have
Okay.
done.
Hmm.
Because my settings and everything earlier, whatever I have done remain the same. So there is no problem with my settings or anything. My data labels, the theme and everything looks the same. Only thing what I have done is I've just added one more layer to that, which is called the country. This is when you add the another layer, which is called the country, then it gets staked up. So it goes piling up.
Yes, I got it.
All right. So now, so Pranjali, you're done.
Yes, done.
Okay. Now open up another new page, which is called Visuals 2. If you, because I'm doing it little bigger, so I usually want to keep two different visuals and a two different, I mean, each visual preferably in a different sheet so that it looks good. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now this time what I'm going to do is listen carefully when on the blank canvas on the visuals to what I'm going to do. I have dealt this staked bar chart. I am done with the staked column chart. Now that I'm going to look into the clustered bar chart and the clustered column chart. So first thing I'm going to click on the clustered bar chart. So I gave the clustered bar chart, which is the third bar chart from the or third visual image that I have brought in from the canvas.
Hmm.
Third one, clustered bar chart. Okay. And again, on the clustered bar chart, again, when you see the y-axis and x-axis, see x-axis is this one, y-axis is this one. So we are going to bring the continent onto the y-axis and cost in USD onto the x-axis. And I'm changing this back to the average. Now this is good. What I'll do is I'll go to the visuals one, select this image, select the visual one, click on the format painter, come back to this visuals 2, apply the same format here. Now, not only within the sheet, you can within the same sheet, you can use the format painter. You can use the format painter option from the previous sheets or anywhere inside the report and you can bring it. So that's where you can see the clustered column chart. I know that you don't have any visibility over this right now, even when you do this bit, but what I would simply say, I'm just changing this stacked bar chart. I'm copying the same thing visuals, updating it here.
So
And
that
I'm
add
renaming this
line
to
line won't come here, right? When we
line won't
just.
come because the analysis
Uh-huh.
is not switched on to this particular chart or visual.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
Format painter का मतलब होता है कि only themes, data labels, ये सब वगैरह सब कुछ copy होके format होता है.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm going to copy the same notes from the previous one. I copied the notes now. Okay. And on the notes, let's see what is that analysis that you have got. You don't need to write all the notes. I'll just give you the notes for that. Okay. I'll just copy that in the message window. You can copy the same and put it there.
Constant line, minimum, maximum.
Okay.
Percentile. Okay.
All right. So let's look at the clustered bar chart. And on the clustered bar chart, now this time you are getting more number of analysis here. One is constant line, minimum line, maximum line, average line, median line, percentile line. Now, so far what you have dealt is only the constant line. Now, the similar fashion, you have got the minimum line. So, but this minimum line and maximum lines are something like where you can always use the same method what you have done on the constant line. Let's say on the minimum line, when I add a new minimum line, you could see the minimum line is automatically added. Fine. Before we do this, let me ask you this way. Can you tell me, looking at this graph, what is the minimum data here? Minimum line, minimum average?
9.16.
That is on the Asia. Now, when I click on the minimum line here, now do you see that the minimum line is added from 9.16?
Yes.
Right?
Hmm.
Good. Now I have an option where I can choose the series here. Right now, since I am using only the cost of USD, see, I remember this point. I only have added one particular stat here called average cost in the USD. So that alone is being updated here. Otherwise, around you're not going to see any information. But you'll see the same thing in the next graph or next visual. Okay. So line ka hai, I'm just giving the minimum average color. I'll just give the black thing. But this time I'm going to put more transparency over it. Or let's say that I'm just giving it 80% and changing this to dash to solid. So this will indicate what is the minimum line of this. Similarly, I'm just going to add a maximum line also the same way. When I click on the maximum line, it will reach to the 65.50. And yes, because that is a maximum point. And also what I'm going to take a look at is I'm just ensuring that even this, doing this method, what happens tomorrow when you change the data, when there is a change in the data, the minimum and maximum lines are going to automatically get updated. So you don't need to worry. So this is where the minimum and this is the maximum.
एक second.
Hmm.
There is a maximum line. How did you draw?
Select the visual and go to the analysis, click on the maximum line, click on the add line. It should come to the maximum line.
Okay, 1 second. I cannot see the maximum line here. Should I click on the add line?
Yes,
And
you
then
need to
I'll
click
get
on the
it.
add line. Yeah.
Yeah, but there are both the lines are minimum line only. I'm not able to see the maximum line over there.
Okay. Minimize the minimum line. We are done with that. So remove the next minimum line and then go below that you will see the maximum line. I believe that you have not collapsed it.
Apply setting line. No, I'm not able to see the maximum line.
No, इतना क्यों हो रहा है? Okay, I believe that
Line,
again you have
median
not.
line.
Okay, wait. Which kind of visual that you are using?
visual that is see
Which visual you are using?
a clustered bar chart.
Clustered bar chart, right? When you
Uh-huh.
select the clustered bar chart, and then when you, okay, and how about this bit, y-axis and x-axis? How did you do that? Is it the same way?
Then I selected this my visual and then click on this. Yeah, I took all this this continent and cost in USD. That
Mm.
also I taken. That's correct. That minimum line I'm getting it, but maximum line I'm not getting it. I cannot see here. Like I can see in your screen, there are different kind of lines are there. Yeah,
Under the
minimum,
minimum line,
maximum.
do you see the settings and everything?
Yes, applied setting. Uh-huh.
Okay, scroll down. Do you see the maximum line?
1 second. Yeah, now it is visible. Okay.
And that is what exactly I'm saying. You have not collapsed it. Please collapse it. Everything you will see it on the maximum line. Or in case if you are not
Mm.
seeing it, search in the box like
Mm.
max. It will tell you what is the maximum.
Yeah, so it's there now. Maximum line is there. Mm.
पहले पहले ही है
Okay.
अभी मैंने कुछ नहीं किया था आप कोलैप्स नहीं कर रहे हो
Okay.
right so do the minimum line and maximum line and after that what I want you guys to do is to click on the average line and click on an average line also and this time change a different give a different color like you can keep whichever color suits better on the red color is it a blue color let's say blue color only and let's make it a solid line and I want you to add the data label for that.
It should be black.
You will have that in the average line there itself. You can see how you can add more number of lines on the on this visual.
Average line. Okay. Line color.
How about the other three? You guys were able to do it. Shaker. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Lovely. Pranjali, what happened to you?
Yeah, I could draw that maximum and average also both.
See, you're running late today.
Yeah.
All right. So now what you understood is you have got minimum, more number of constant lines here, like more number of analysis, like minimum, maximum, and average line. These are the options that you will also have. But the reason why I'm asking you to make a notes here, okay? Notes मैंने दूंगा अगर otherwise around in case if you are struggling to write it I can give you the notes here you can copy the same thing and put it there ये इतना क्यों हमें यहाँ पे स्ट्रेस कर रहे हैं कि पहले आपने स्टैक्ड बार चार्ट देखा और स्टैक्ड कॉलम चार्ट देखा इसमें एनालिसिस अलग है अभी you are looking at the clustered column chart and clustered bar chart now you are seeing a different kinds of analysis. So each and every visual have different analysis, and that is what I have mentioned.
Hmm.
The other two, which is median and percentile, now you are going to see on the next visual.
Okay. Visual 3.
Yeah, no, on the same part, you'll do it on the right hand side, but are you guys done so far?
Yep.
Okay. Now I'll teach you this one more method. I want you to select from the top corner of this. I want you to select everything like this. Let's say you can just do a control A, or you can do a control A. Everything gets selected, whatever you see. Then you can make a control V. Okay. Sorry, control C and then make a control V. Control A and then control C, and then you can give control V. And I'm just making a copy of it on the right hand side. That's it I have done. Control A, then control C, then control V, and then move to the right hand side. Just keep it to the right hand side. And this time, once you are done, just change the names here, bar to column.
Control.
पता है वहां पे रोक गया. Control A, control C,
Control Z.
C,
Why?
C for copy, C for copy.
C. Sorry. Control V. Got it.
I know my tone is not good today. I have been
No, it's
traveling for the
okay.
past
No,
1 week,
that's
and then there is a
perfect.
change. So इतना stress नहीं कर पा रहा था. Control C मतलब copy करना है.
Done.
इसके बाद paste करना है. Paste करके right hand
Yeah.
side लेके आना.
Yeah, done. Okay, we'll change the title, column chart.
Column chart. Notes, keep the notes the same, because notes का कुछ problem ही नहीं है. You can keep the same notes. But what I want you guys to do is select the visual on the right hand side, which is column chart. Go to your visuals, and now this time you are going to select the fourth visual. Now you'll just see within a jiffy how you can able to change from one way to another way.
Column chart.
Yep. Clustered column chart. And once you do this on the clustered column chart, the second thing what you need to do is to now bring the country onto this graph. And now you see how the difference is.
Perfect.
Visuals 1 में यही स्टेप आपने जब किया होगा तो स्टैक चार्ट कैसे दिख रहा है और कॉलम चार्ट कैसे दिख रहा है अभी. अभी समझ आया कि डिफरेंस बिटवीन क्या है कि बिटवीन स्टैक्ड एंड कॉलम क्लस्टर्ड वन.
Yeah. So
In clustered,
this we
everything
can
you will see
copy and
side by
paste in
side.
our PPT, right?
Yeah, you can. But only thing is this is the static image. यहाँ से जब अपने कॉपी कर रहे हो ये स्टैटिक इमेज ही होगा. तो मान लो अगर PPT में अगर you are showing up different statistics, then you need to keep change and then copy and then put it there.
Okay.
And when you ask me about do you have an advanced session of it, that is where in the advanced session क्या होगा, once you deploy this to your Power BI service, there you can have an export to the PPT where there is a link, which means you don't need to do it everything. On the PPT itself, the numbers will change based upon your selection. That becomes a dynamic one. So now you understood what the Power BI level is?
Yeah.
And not what you're learning, everything is like a kind of a base. But not very base level. You're doing a good one. That's all.
Okay.
All right. So अभी क्या करेंगे इसी visual में we'll go to the analysis and we know that we have got the minimum line. So I'm just removing all this. How do I remove it? Go to the minimum line. Here there is an option to remove. So I'm just going to click on the remove. So now you can see the minimum line goes 0. Maximum line again, you can see it goes 0. Average line is also 0.
Okay, all lines we are going to remove.
Yep. And here you can add a median line and then see instead of all this, you can just add a minimum median line and then see how it works in. Can anyone tell me what is the median formula? Or how do you find a median formula? Any idea? I mean, just keep a simple way. Don't keep it so complex.
If it's odd, it's the middle number,
Hmm,
and if it's even, then there are two values, and we have to find the mean.
Average
perfect,
of two. Hmm.
perfect. So now I mean, so you have a basic idea about the median, right? So that's why I'm
Hmm.
just wanted to ask because the moment once I click on the median, it also works on the same method here, whatever that you
Hmm.
have just spoken.
We'll add the another percentile line also.
Yes, of course. If you have done, you can just add the percentile line also. But percentile
Okay.
line में आपको दो चीज होगा. एक आप you are going to click on add line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then you can see a percentile line added on the series, not on the series, on the line. Okay. So there is a by default, it comes as 90th percentile. By default, it comes as a 90th percentile. Now you can reduce this percentile. If you want a 50th percentile, you can add the 50th percentile. So it will give the data according to the 50th percentile, or you can keep on adding. So the percentile line gets changed according to that.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, you know what is this percentile meaning? Any idea about the percentile? Absolutely no. I'll give you a simple, very simple high level thing. Okay. Be- because that is how it works. In let's say uh, there are a set of people. Okay.
Mm.
Let's say there are 20 people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now all the 20 people are asked to stand in a simple ascending order according to their heights.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's say, for example, I picked up a person who is there in the fourth tallest.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Then what happens out of all the four people? So I have picked up one person. Okay. So the remaining other people, okay, the fourth tallest. So there could be one or two people on that. So the remaining other people becomes the total percent for them. So which is, let's say, the 80% of the people. I know it's a
Okay.
bit difficult to understand, but it is much more easier. So what I wanted to say is the person whom I picked as a fourth tallest will be the 80th percentile of according to the data.
Mm-hmm.
So in a simple way, what is a formula? It is going to be something like the total number of values. So you will have an X factor. What is the X factor? You are going to choose one particular. Okay, where have you come across this percentile? Any idea? Have you ever heard about this percentile?
Yes,
Where did you come across this percentile?
in KPI reports where we have performance reviews.
ठीक है वो तो आपका ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का in general where did you heard about it?
No, never.
Hmm. Pranjali,
Mm-hmm. It's like a frequency distribution, like in the to know about it.
ठीक है frequency distribution, but you should be hearing this about more number of times more than us.
Yes. Yeah.
You're from ISB,
It's a
right?
group of percentages, like it's a group of percentage
Ha,
something.
you're from ISB, right?
No, I am from UBS.
Okay, UBS, fine. Do you ever heard about the competitive examinations like CAT, all the other
Yes,
examinations?
yes. There we get the percentile.
So
So
rank, right?
Exactly.
yes.
The ranks are
Mm,
based upon the percentile, but they don't say
yes,
rank, they say it is a percentile.
correct. So it's a like group of some percentages.
So you're going to take, okay,
Mhm.
so you're going to consider some of the values and that value becomes an X factor, let's say, for example, okay? So
Mhm.
the formula is very simple. It's like number of values below X. Let's say I'm taking about the X factor, okay? Out of 10, I'm taking one X factor, okay? The X factor is, let's say, 7, for example. Out of 10, I'm taking 7 as my X number, okay?
Mm, mm.
Then total number of values I have got, I have 10 values. I have 10 values.
Uh-huh.
Out of that, I'm picking one particular value, which is 7.
Mm.
So 7 divided by total number of values is 10, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Into 100 gives you the 70 percentage. That is 70 percentile. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
समझ रहे हो ना? Same
Yes,
calculation, like
yes.
how you calculate the percentage, it is the same thing. Percentile का मतलब क्या होगा
70%.
कि 70. But when you look at the broader perspective, when you have more number of values, that is where the reason why it comes into the picture. When you might have got the same 7 value, or
Mm-hmm.
that's your 7 is your benchmark.
Mm.
So when more number of people are getting, you will get more number of 7s there. So let's say around 10 people, 70 people got more 7 value.
Correct.
So that is where your base value comes into the picture, which is the 70th percentile.
Correct. Absolutely.
Similarly,
So,
you are doing the same thing on the Power BI, looking at the 70th
mm.
percentile or 90th percentile or 80th percentile.
Mm.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
So this is what the Power BI is offering in terms of how the percentile looks like in different
Mm.
visuals.
Mm-hmm.
Now that what you can do is you can just make a copy of this visuals 2 page. I'm going to duplicate this page by right click on the visuals, click on the duplicate page. So I'll have a duplicate of visual 2. I'm going to rename this as visual 3. That's it.
Okay. Mm.
Got it?
Yes.
विजुअल 2 में हो गया. अभी विजुअल 3 हमें देखने वाला है कि जो ऑलरेडी हमें किया था. Now अभी we are going to make the same visuals in a different formats and then see in different visuals.
Mm.
तो पहले क्या होगा कि right now before I go for the next two things, which is 100% stake bar, 100% bar chart.
Mm.
Okay. Now I want to give you an understanding on the visual one, whatever you have done the stake bar chart or state column chart. All I want you guys to do is go back here in this place and then say, put it like this, 100% और स्टेक
The
बार
visual one वाला.
विजुअल 1 वाला, ठीक है?
Mhm. Mhm.
You are just putting it 100% or stake column chart. Why am I doing this method? Now, do you understand why am I doing this? What does this infer? Any idea?
You took the 100% of the data.
Uh-huh. Else, what else?
It is only staked bar chart.
What does this label indicate there?
There it is mentioned stake bar chart and it is mentioned 100% stake bar chart.
हाँ, इसमें एक स्लैश भी है, इसका मतलब क्या होता है?
Both are very similar, na? Stake bar chart and 100% stake bar chart.
Both are similar in nature, very similar in nature. यहाँ पे जो मैंने लिखा 100% और स्टेक बार चार्ट का मतलब है कि आपको 100% स्टेक बार चार्ट में भी ऐसे ही मिलता है एंड नोट्स भी ऐसे ही है। 100% कॉलम चार्ट में भी ऐसे ही मिलता है और नोट्स भी वही है, मतलब कांस्टेंट लाइंस ही होगा। Only thing what you find the difference is you see the 100% stake column chart in a different, you see this. Now I'm just going to change this to 100% stake column chart. Now you see how it looks like. Everything is filled in. मतलब क्या होगा? I'll tell you in a simple way. अब सब केमिस्ट्री क्लास गया?
Yeah.
केमिस्ट्री क्लास में क्या होगा कि मान लो एक सिंपल टेस्ट ट्यूब मैंने लिया था। टेस्ट ट्यूब में क्या बोल रहा हूँ? I'll say put 10% red color. You'll put 10% red color. 20% orange color, you'll put 20% orange color, 30% green color. So क्या हो रहा है? 10 plus 20, 30, 30 plus 30, 40, correct? Sorry, 60. Another remaining
Yeah.
is 40% for me. I'll ask you to fill the remaining 40% in a different color. So what you have done, out of 100%, you're distributing less 10, 20, 30, and 40, correct?
Yeah.
That is what the colorings you are seeing on this particular way. Let's say, for example, this is what you are seeing. This is called staking. This is called staking. समझ रहे हो क्या बोल रहा हूँ? This is called stack. But where you can see the same test tube, I'll say it is fill in with the purple color. So the 100% you are filling with that. So your value is always 100%. See, simple thing. Stake का मतलब क्या होता है कि within 100% you are distributing the value.
Okay.
But in normal stake bar chart क्या होगा कि it might rose up to 120 and 130 also. But it is showing in a stacked way. That's all.
So if you change the stack bar chart also with the 100% clicking on that visual, how it will change?
That is what I have done right now.
No, you change the column chart. I'm saying bar chart.
Bar chart में भी वैसे ही होगा. You'll get 100% filled in. That's all.
Okay. Fine.
So what does this indicate? Out of the 100%, it is going to fill in that value.
Correct.
Got it? So just for that reason, to give you an understanding, how does it work? लेकिन constant यहाँ पे analysis में सिर्फ constant lines ही होगा. So that's the reason why there is no change, and that's the reason why I gave you either you use a stack bar chart or a 100% stack bar chart. Either use a stack column chart or a 100% stack column chart. Your results looks the same way. मतलब जो analysis में constant lines ही होगा. Visuals will be looking like this in a colorful way.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Good. So now you have what you have learned. You have learned all the first visuals in the first row.
Yes.
Along with the analysis.
Yeah.
Now it becomes much more easy when you keep going on to the next rows. Okay. When you keep using the next rows, it will be much more easier. So itna stress करने का जरूरत ही नहीं, वही होगा. But only thing you'll see the different visuals how they are looking, and you'll see experience the new visuals. Okay.
Yes.
Your doubt is, will that be covered or not? Yes, it will be covered on time. So nothing to worry. Just go for a 10-minute break, come back, get refreshed. We'll kill the
I think
remaining
so.
visuals.
Pravas is typing something.
Prabhas wants to say something to me. I
Pravas
think
also needs a break.
I don't know.
Oh, he stopped typing.
Okay. All right. Let's just take around 10 minutes break and then let's regroup back again. Oh, okay. He's giving the examples. Okay.
Okay. The scores first version.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Hmm.
See, this is my X factor. What is a percentile for the score 71? We are checking it. Okay. So which means you can see this is my X factor here, which is 71. So number of scores below 71 are 6.
6, correct.
Total number of scores I have got is for 10 people.
10 people, yeah.
So which means my percentile becomes around 6 into 10, which is 60th percentile. The
60
71
percentile.
score. The score for that 71 is the 60th percentile.
68 percentile. True. Thank you, Prabhas.
Thanks, Prabhas. Thank you so much.
Pranjali, my pleasure. Srikant, I had a curiosity, one thing regarding that connectivity from Power BI to PowerPoint. Can't we make it as a link chart and present it and get it updated?
No, that happens only through the Power BI service, but not through this. So
Can
you
we
mean to
just
say
try?
from the
Can we
desktop,
just try?
from the
Yeah,
desktop?
yeah.
Okay, let me try. I haven't tried even that way.
No, just 1 minute for my
Yeah,
sake.
no problem. I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
Come on, Mr. PowerPoint. Okay. समझ रहे आपने क्या बोल रहे हो? Okay. Paste it as a link and then see will that work? Is that what you
Yeah,
meant?
yeah. That's
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Let me pick up one best visual that I have got.
You can take this bar chart that left
नहीं
side.
नहीं नहीं बार chat में कुछ filters नहीं we don't have the filters there, so
No,
I'm
I'm talking
I
about
want to see if
filters.
this one can be done.
No, Srikant, don't
Yeah,
take this.
because
No, don't take the map and all. What I'm saying is, earlier was the best example. That bar chart left side is
I'm
there,
copying
no?
this. First thing you're copy the visual, okay, and यहाँ पे paste का option ही नहीं आ रहा था.
Right. So you are not getting the options.
Yeah, I can only make an image over it like this. And then go back and paste it here.
But even though you go for right click, is it giving the picture image? I mean option.
Let's see. I'm just making a thing here. This is a window. Right. This gives you the picture like this.
It doesn't give the link.
That it doesn't give the link. That's where the problem is.
So as you said that we should have a authorized login, right? Sign in.
Yeah, there should be an authorized login. I think Sharada or someone is using some business account. So क्या होगा कि the business account में usually क्या होगा यहाँ पे sign in का option दिख रहा है ना सबको. Since you are using the personal laptops, I believe that it will not allow you to go to any sign in option. If it
So
is
if
your
you sign in,
organization laptop, let's say if I'm signing this with my organization account, whatever the organization account I have, it will allow me. तो यहाँ पे ये मेरा personal account है. तो personal account तक जब मैंने जाऊँ तो click on OK, you will see that
it
message.
will not take it.
It will tell you very clearly, you need to have an organization account. बोल के.
Correct. Right.
So you can't sign in here with a personal account.
True.
But
So
that's a good option.
we can log
That's
in
a
through
good
our
option.
Outlook of the profession Office Outlook,
Yeah,
we
you
can
can.
log in with that.
Yeah, you can do that way. You can do that
Mm.
way. But only thing is, like what Prabhas have told me is there any option where I can paste it as a link or something? But paste link option ही actually नहीं है.
Mm. There
Or
was one
can
option,
we
na?
can we
URL.
sorry, Shrikant, can we save this Power BI as a SharePoint and then get the link?
That you can do it if you're okay. That's where I say if you're using a Power BI service, you don't need to do all this turnaround. There's a simple option where you can see you can just publish this option. You have an option here called publish. The moment you publish it, it will publish and then to the SharePoint and then give you the link directly. But
Mm.
if not, what you are trying to say, can I save this PBX file into the SharePoint site and then take the link? बट इसमें भी प्रॉब्लम क्या हो रहा है कि पीबीएक्स फाइल है ना, तो पीबीएक्स फाइल को it should be open है. So even if you are connecting to the SharePoint link, even if you are connecting to the SharePoint link, you have to open in the PBIX no matter what.
Okay.
समझ रहे हो क्या बोल रहा हूँ? I am saving the file to SharePoint site now. I saved it in the SharePoint site. Now you are thinking that within the SharePoint site, I have a link, I can open it. You can open that link. You can open the link, but the visuals are within the the PBIX file. So it will not get or it will not come and sit in onto the PowerPoint. Or you can use that particular link onto the SharePoint site, share it with anyone. The other person should also have the Power BI desktop version in order to open your PBIX file. I'm giving you all the possibilities.
Okay.
Got it, Mita? Or you have something else that you want to ask? She already went for break, maybe.
She must have went for the break.
Yeah, she might have gone for the break. That's fine. Just go for the break and come, okay? We'll continue the
Okay.
session from here.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back. Just let me know if you guys are back.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, from Pranjali or Mita.
Mita here.
Okay. Yeah, Mita. Sharda is also back. Great. Okay. Pranjali, Shekhar. Let's wait for another 5 more minutes and then let's start it. Okay.
Okay.
So how is it? How is that you're finding Shubhamita and Shekhar? You guys are good. You're able to understand.
Yes, very. It's actually easy if you are well versed with Excel. It's just that the tools we need to know where what is located and how we
Exactly.
can pull the data from there. That's it.
Yep. Perfect. But it comes with the practice. अभी हमारा
Yes.
सेशन तो पता है 4 हफ्ते हुआ एक 7 दिन तो बीच में ऑलरेडी गैप तो आ गया है बट if you
Hmm.
cope up the same thing like doing with a fresh mind fresh things then you should be able to experience the same thing.
Yes. And I was checking if I have this Power BI in my office laptop. They don't have it, so I have to get a specific permission to have this so that I can present something creative.
तो आप Power BI desktop free version तो download कर सकते हो. That will be a free of cost, so that should not require any
We have
license.
restrictions, no, in our laptop. We cannot download anything at random. We have to always ask permission.
तो
So,
ठीक है, raise a ticket and then get it done. Should be good.
correct.
Shubhamita, right?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes, Sharda.
I didn't download anything. It's already there in the ready-made storage in this one Microsoft Store you showed me, right?
It
It's
is
already
there.
there from there. Yeah, from there you can download. Just open. You can use it. I'm doing the
Ye-
same thing in my office laptop only.
Yeah, that I understand. But for us, any movement in the system, as is whatever they give, there is a, they seal it, they lock it, and then anything extra software that we need to download or install, we have to let the admin know and then get permission and all that. It's security. Otherwise, it's considered security breach or something. I have to.
See, I will give you a best advice. Raise a ticket and then go back to your Microsoft. Ask them to go to the Microsoft store and get it installed
Yes,
from there.
yes,
ताकि क्या होगा ना कि every time whenever you are doing a report, a new
Hmm.
report, that it will be
Mhm.
upgraded to the latest
Correct,
version. तो
correct.
आपको latest ये भी मिल जाएगा वहाँ वहीं पे.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
श्रीकांत मेरा थोड़ा क्वेश्चन है.
Mm-hmm.
जैसा हम लोग पावर बीआई में हम लोग ऐसा कर रहे हैं ना, जैसा प्रेजेंटेशन क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, उसको हम लोग ऐसा जनरली मेल पे प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं. किसी को अगर भेजना है तो वही फाइल ओनली भेज सकते हैं, राइट?
हाँ, पीबीएक्स फाइल आप भेज सकते हो बट लेकिन दूसरा बंदा के पास भी पावर बीआई होना चाहिए ये पीबीएक्स फाइल ओपन करने के लिए.
नहीं, मतलब ऐसा ऐसा जनरली आप जैसे बोला शेयर पॉइंट में इसको पब्लिश कर सकते हैं. जैसा सब लोगों के लिए तो डिस्ट्रॉय है, मैं आपको जो दिखाया था वो जो
हाँ,
हमारा जो
सी जिसके पास पावर बीआई डेस्कटॉप वर्जन है सब ओपन कर सकते हैं आपका फाइल।
अच्छा, हम लोग
खाली
यहीं पे
इनके
जो
पास पावर बीआई डेस्कटॉप होना चाहिए।
हाँ, नहीं हम लोग यहीं पे जो कैलकुलेशन सब जो है ना, जो मैट्रिक्स टेबल हम लोग बना रहे हैं, लेकिन इसके लिए जैसे हम लोग पिवट टेबल बनाने का टाइम पे स्पेशली फील्ड ऐड कर सकते हैं। हम लोग टोटल जो बैकएंड डाटा पे कुछ भी नहीं करते हैं, लेकिन वहीं पे विद इन द पिवट टेबल इटसेल्फ we can add some calculation tables or something else.
या यू कैन एवरीथिंग। सी यहाँ पे कैलकुलेटेड मेजर्स और कैलकुलेटेड कॉलम्स रहते हैं, दोनों कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे।
ये पे भी हो सकता है ना?
हाँ, वो भी दिखाएंगे हम। अभी करने दो। प्रांजलि, यू आर देयर? Fine, let her join. I know she will be a bit late, I guess. Okay, let's start this. What we are going to do is I'm just going to share my screen. Now open a new page
Yeah,
called
I'm
Visual.
there. Yeah, I'm there. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Just about to start. All right, open a new page called Visual4, everyone. I'm not going out of, I'm not creating any new charts here. The reason why, because same chart I'm giving you in a different visual so that you will be able to understand. जहां जरूरत पड़ा है तो I'll take a new data. Okay. పర్వాలేదక్క.
Oh, sorry. She always.
All right. So this is Visual4, what we are talking about. So we have dealt so far with the first line of the visuals. Now that we are going to see the remaining other visuals, but now whatever we have done so far remains the same way. Okay, whatever we have done remains the same way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just copying the same visual from the visual 3 and put it onto the visual 4. Okay. And also I'm taking up the headings भी लूंगा. That's better. और हेडिंग के बारे छोड़ दो, पहले विजुअल कॉपी करेंगे और विजुअल कॉपी करके इस बार हमें राइट नाउ व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इज वी आर गोइंग टू चेंज दिस विजुअल फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट वन स्टेक बार चार्ट के बदले वी आर यूजिंग द लाइन चार्ट. सो क्लिक ऑन द लाइन चार्ट, you should see how the line chart looks like.
Srikanth, we are just going to copy from the previous one, no?
Yes, I'm copying from the visual one, visual 3 somewhere.
Clustered
I'm just
bar
copying
chart.
it. Yeah.
Okay. One
I'm
second.
copying the same thing and then putting it onto the visual 4. And I'm mentioning this as a line chart. And I'm also copying the notes of it.
Same content from the notes.
Same content. That's what I told you. I'm not changing any content, but zarurat pada hai, I'll show you the different contents. Otherwise, around it remains the same. That's why you're not going to see any difference or any changes. Okay. Notes में क्या होगा कि you are going to see the same witness. You are going to witness more number of datas, but it's just that you are going to get one more thing added called y-axis, constant line. मतलब क्या है कि जो constant line already whatever you have experienced earlier, you are just renaming this as y-axis constant line. Now, what is the difference between a constant and y-axis constant? There is no difference at all. It's just that because it is a line graph, the name of that got changed as y-axis. That's all, nothing else. Okay.
Mhm.
But this is how your line chart looks like. What is it you need to know? New thing on this? There is nothing new on the line chart, except the constant line is renamed as a y-axis constant line. That's it.
Okay.
And if you have done this, again, Control A, then Control C, copy, Control A, copy, and then paste it, and then move to the right hand side. The same thing, just keep to the right hand side. And you are going to rename the line chart to area chart. And once you do this, you are changing the visual from line chart to area chart like this. The second visual as area chart. And notes, वगैरह सब कुछ remains the same. You are not going to see anything here other than this. So what we have done, we have done the visual of line chart, how it looks like, and we also did a copy of it and made an area chart, and this is how it looks like.
Hmm.
Okay. And again,
Yeah.
if I make a copy of this, again, if I'm making a copy of this whole set, Control C and then make a Control V. And I'm keeping the same thing. I'm just moving all this down. So I'm just adjusting this here and there. So area chart के बदले मैंने क्या लिख रहा हूँ कि stacked area chart. This is stacked area chart. So I'm going to select this visual and I'm going to the third visual, which is area stack chart. This is how it looks like. Now you might not feel the difference unless and until you add one more data here. I'm adding the country master here, but which doesn't make sense, which doesn't make much more sense. So I'll just keep it the same way. I mean, don't go when you're adding more information on the area stacked area chart. So stacked area, stacked bar, stacked column chart, the functionality remains the same. The visualization changes, that's all. And along with it, you'll also see, but this time you're going to see only the y constant line. You'll not have all the other offerings here on the analysis. It's only going to be one. You're going to see only the one particular line here, which is stacked area chart. This is the graph.
Nothing else will be added, no? Only stacked
Nothing
area
else.
chart. That's it.
Yeah. And it has got only the y-axis constant line. So just for you to make sure that this is the representation, not to leave the scope, I'm just going to the insert, go to the shape, and then I'm adding one arrow here. So that you'll understand looking at that stacked area, this is how it looks like, and then this is the notes. You can still reduce it if you want. Okay.
Just 1 second.
No problem at all. Let me know once you guys are ready. We'll just move to the next one.
Yeah, done.
All right. So the next part, what you're going to look at is sorry, just give me a minute. Right. Make a copy of this visuals 4, like a duplicate page, and then rename this as visuals 5. I'm just making a visual 4 copy page of it and then making a visual 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the line chart, the very first one, on the visuals 5 page, the very first chart, what we have done is the line chart. So I'm going to change this to a combo chart, line and staked column chart. So now just take a look how it works in like a line and stacked column chart. Okay. And you have dealt with this graph earlier. If you don't remember the name, I'll tell you how it works in. The name itself is called combo chart in Excel file.
Mm-hmm.
You have come across a chart called combo chart in Excel file. This is the same thing. Line and column stake chart is called the combo chart. Okay. समझ गया क्या प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. Right. So let's work on this line and stack column chart, like what exactly are the offerings we have and what is that we have. So line and stack column chart, as I told you, this is a combo chart. So far what we have gone is on the x-axis we have plotted the continent, and the column y-axis we have got average of the cost in the USD. There is one more thing called line y-axis. There is one more thing called line y-axis. इसका मतलब क्या है कि we can add 2 more visuals here. So what are the other 2 visuals that you want to bring on this graph? Let's say I'm going to bring the average, so the aggregate rating. Earlier what we have done, I'm going to bring the aggregate rating. So I'm bringing the aggregate rating onto the line axis like this, and change this line axis aggregate rating to average. And now you can see the moment when I bring it, what happened? There is a new line added onto this. What does this infer? The Europe average cost is 65.50, but the average rating is 4.09. Oceania, the average rate is 38.68 and the average rating is 4.04. Now you understood what happened. एक ही graph में we are showing two different data sets. One data set belongs to specific to the average cost. The second data set belongs to the aggregate rating, which makes more sense, right? Usually when you deal with the data, let's say when you're dealing with some of the distribution list and frequency, you'll see what is the total number of product quantity that you have produced today and what is the quality average of it. This is how you can show it on the graphs.
Mm. Okay.
I'm not getting this view.
You're not getting the view. Okay. So first thing, have you created a copy of the visual 4?
Yes.
Right. So on the visual 5, after you rename it to visual 5, the first we are dealing with the line chart. So line
Yes.
chart को मैंने visual change किया था combo chart, line and stake column chart visual. ये
Yes.
change
Yes.
किया आपने?
Yes.
Okay. Change करने के बाद आपको ये chart select करने के बाद आपको यहाँ पे x axis मिलता है, column y axis मिलेगा और line y axis मिलता है. Line y axis में हमें KPI aggregate rating लेके आया और इसको average convert किया था हमें.
Oh, acha. Inside the
Line y
y-axis.
axis.
I
Line
was
y
dragging
axis.
it to the visuals.
मत करना इसे. Now you can
Got
do it.
But the line is down. Your blue line is up.
वही तो बोल रहा हूँ, आप एवरेज कन्वर्ट करना पड़ेगा.
Okay, convert it to average.
पहले तो यूजुअली सम में आएगा, बट लेकिन एवरेज को कन्वर्ट करना है.
Okay.
आया?
Got it.
Now, on the analysis file, what you can see for the same graph, what are the different analysis? Apart from the error bars, you don't have anything. As I told you, error bars, you can ignore. The reason why ignoring, because we don't require that error bars that are for scientific purposes. So you can just simply mention here, no analytics. So whenever you come across this particular line, let's say, for example, when you're dealing with the real-time data and you wanted to produce a graph like this, first thing that needs to come to your mind, okay, when you see this reference, okay, there are no analysis or analytics. So you'll just खाली आपको यहाँ पे data update करना है, बस इतना ही है. What else you can bring? See, I can add one more data here. For example, यहाँ पे जो continent है, तो मैंने अगर मान लो country master का data भी लेके आया हूँ, but this बार अब ये difference देखो. जो data है, this is by the continent. So if I want to bring the country master, I should not bring onto the visual. I should bring onto the x-axis. ताकि क्या होगा, आपको यहाँ पे दिखेगा कि hierarchy maintain होता है. This comes as a hierarchy. So when I go down to the next hierarchy, or when I drill down to the next hierarchy, you can see the data for all the continents. I know this is very clumsy, this is not so good, but still I'm just giving you for a purpose. Can I bring in hierarchy on this kind of graph? Yes. If I want to bring a hierarchy on the graph, what I need to do is I should not drag the data onto the visual directly. Rather, I need to add the next step onto the x-axis after the continent. And that is where you can see there is a drill down level or the hierarchy added are here. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So what we are going to do is the next one, the same thing. Instead of stacked line and stacked column chart, you are going to use a line and stacked clustered column chart. Okay. I'm just going to copy this. यहाँ पे stacked chart के बदले clustered chart. So now you know what exactly does this mean in stacked or clustered का मतलब क्या होता है कि you learned this just before the break.
Stacked is one on one top of the other, the information.
Right. Clustered will be side by side.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what the next visual says, which is I'm just converting the next visual to the line and clustered column chart. Okay. So if I want to bring a line axis here, which is the KPI aggregate rating onto the line y-axis, and then converting to the average. So now these two look similar. There is no change at all in the graph. These two look similar. Only thing is when I'm going to bring the country here, okay, and even on the country, you're not going to witness anything. It is going to be the same thing like what you have done earlier, but only change. Make a note, make a notes if you want. Only change between the stacked and column just makes sense like this. When I'm bringing the country master, I can bring it onto the graph directly like this now. Okay, now this is how it looks like. See, when I drag it onto the graph or onto the visual, okay, this comes as a legend. This gets added onto the column legend. Okay. But if I don't want to have a column legend, then I'm going to bring straightly onto the x-axis. Then that becomes like a hierarchy. When you want to bring is a
Srikanth,
hierarchy.
can you just repeat it again? Just 1 minute back.
Right.
You selected and you drag the country to
Achha,
which axis?
okay, make your notes or else make your notes. I'll tell you in another way.
Hmm.
Any visual, if you want to bring hierarchy onto the visual, then you need to bring the option and drag it onto your x-axis like a line by line. Like what we have done on the previous chat, you remember? Yahan pe jo dekha, this is how it looks like. If you want to bring a hierarchy on your visual, no, I don't want to bring a hierarchy. Then I want to put the data side by side or stacked. Then what you need to do is you need to bring the same data and put it onto your column legend. Like now I'm going to bring the country master onto the column legend. Now this is how the data looks like. Samajh rahe na? This is a column legend. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the column legend. So when you want to bring a column legend, you can put the data here on the column legend like this, it will show. No, I want to bring in a hierarchy way, then you are going to put the same thing onto your x-axis based on the chart that you are using. Then it will create a hierarchy on the graph. And यहाँ पे भी आपको notes लिख सकते हैं कि no analytics. Okay.
Yeah.
Now make sense whatever you are talking.
I am not getting that line in my chart.
Because you have not added the line y constant line. The KPI average rating you have not added. Line y axis.
Okay.
इसको KPI average rating लेके आके अपने average KPI aggregate rating लेके आना और इसका average में convert करना.
The y-axis, no?
Yeah, because you are dealing with this this thing, right?
Something different is coming here.
What is different? Probably you have added both these things. What is coming up?
1 second. Just let me share the screen with you. See here, y-axis is the same continent. And average KPI aggregate.
Line y axis में आपने कहाँ रखा? And you have done this as a staked column chart. I understood this. Bring the KPI aggregate rating onto the. No. Drag the KPI. Okay, drag the KPI rating onto line y axis.
Okay. Here I will
column
remove, right?
y axis. You can remove that and then put the cost in USD there.
1 second.
Right.
This
Remove
is
that
correct. X-axis.
नहीं column y axis में जो value है इसको line y axis में drag करना as it is. Now add the cost in USD onto the column y axis. Convert this to average. There you go.
Okay. So here no analytics. Fine.
Yeah.
Got it.
Got it?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So now this is where you guys got this information. Now let's look at the new chart, which is called a ribbon chart. Okay, now let's look at something called the ribbon chart. This is a new one which you have not dealt so far. So what I want you to do is select this, the chart below here. You can select this chart and then convert this visual to a ribbon chart. Okay, पहले जब रिबन चार्ट में आपने ऐड किया होगा तो पहले आप कुछ नहीं दिखते, यहाँ पे ऐसे खाली चार्ट ऐसे ही दिखेगा.
Okay.
But are you done so far till here, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so just give me a minute. Right. So now let's add more data to this. How does it look like? So first thing, when I select this visual on the left-hand side, which is on for the ribbon chart, I could see that x-axis is there. And I also could see the y-axis is there. Okay. But there is something what we are going to add. So how this is going to add? Average cost in the USD versus KPI aggregate rating. Okay. Average cost versus the KPI aggregate rating. So I'm going to use this and then change this to average. See this. वो यहाँ पे मैंने क्या किया, ये रिबन चार्ट को मैंने ये रिबन चार्ट सेलेक्ट करके एक्स एक्सिस में कॉन्टिनेंट है तो वही है कॉन्टिनेंट, लेकिन यहाँ पे मैंने वाई एक्सिस में एवरेज कॉस्ट इन यूएसडी ऑलरेडी था, इसके ऊपर मैंने एवरेज केपीआई एग्रीगेट रेटिंग लेके आया सिर्फ वाई एक्सिस में. Then I converted this into average.
Achha.
When I do this, you can see the ribbon chart is in a different way. Got it?
Yeah.
So what does this indicate here? This indicates the connectivity between the graphs. So यही ग्राफ आपने ऊपर जो ग्राफ दिख रही है यहाँ पे, यही ग्राफ को यहाँ पे थोड़ा एरिया वाइज सब कुछ वगैरह सब कुछ ऐड करके यहाँ पे आया. And this is how it looks like in the ribbon chart.
Okay. And the notes would be like.
You will not have any analytics here for the ribbon chart also. If you want, you can go and check. You will not have any analysis.
Yeah.
Done?
Yes.
So now you see how you're. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Could you go to the line and column clustered chart and from the beginning let me know how you've done it, because I'm getting a different view.
What different view that you are adding? Have you added any hierarchy there?
No.
Okay, ठीक है, ये काम करना. यही चार्ट को यहाँ पे आप
line and column, the one beside it, line and column clustered chart.
This one.
Yes, this one.
हाँ, मुझे लगता है कि आपको एक काम करना. एक्स एक्सिस में कॉन्टिनेंट है.
एक्स एक्सिस में हाँ.
कॉलम वाई एक्सिस में एवरेज कॉस्ट इन यूएसडी है.
कॉलम वाई एक्सिस में एवरेज कॉस्ट इन यूएसडी है. हाँ.
लाइन वाई इसके नीचे लाइन वाई एक्सिस है. इसमें एवरेज ऑफ KPI एग्रीगेट रेटिंग है।
हाँ
इसके नीचे कॉलम लेजेंड है ना, कॉलम लेजेंड में खाली होगा शायद, यहाँ पे कंट्री मास्टर लेके आना।
oh, yes. Got it. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Now tell me, once you guys are good, we'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
All right. Make a copy of this visual. Make a duplicate page of this and make it visual 6. Sorry, I didn't ask. I'm not checking on Shaker and Sharda. How you guys are doing? Sharda and Shaker, you guys are good? Okay, cool, cool. ठीक है, तो विजुअल 6 में हमें देखेंगे। तो यहां से क्या करने वाला है हम? I'm going to remove all this. Let's say I'm just going to remove all the visuals here. All these visuals down, I'm going to remove them. And I'm also going to remove this visual on the right hand side and retain only the one which is there on the left hand side. ताकि यहाँ पे यहाँ से थोड़ा आगे देखेंगे कि what kind of I mean we'll keep one more we'll keep each page for each of the analysis because you're going to have more clarity on this. So I'm going to select this visual and then just keep it a little bit elaborated. Okay. And once I do this, I'm going to click on the waterfall chart. The same visual, I'm going to look into the waterfall chart. Okay, and I'm going to rename this as waterfall chart here so that it is making more sense.
Waterfall. It's look like waterfall. That's why it's given the name.
यहाँ से क्या होगा कि usually you'll not get more number of analysis. You'll have very minimal. Right. So let me tell you what exactly is a waterfall chart, and this is where one of the easiest charts, but also yet people are going to get more confused about that. But how does it work in a simple way? Let me tell you. Okay. So waterfall chart में क्या होगा usually? Just give me a minute, guys. Right. So waterfall chart में what you need to really understand is one simple, very, 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 very tiny point. Okay. Yet the waterfall chart is really easier. तो यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि how do you understand the data? Okay. So when I'm understanding the data, what happens if you look at that on the waterfall chart, on the very first note, you will see there is a total line which comes in picture. Okay, that's the first thing. what you'll see, the very first thing is you'll see the total line. And now under the total line, it is talking about the Europe, Oceania, Africa, NAM. But on a clear note, this is actually a wrong representation. यहाँ पे representation थोड़ा wrong है. When I say wrong, it is not your mistake. It is the data how it is interpreted. For example, waterfall chart का आप use कर सकते हैं. You can use a waterfall chart in scenarios where usually you might come across this. Use this chart for month-on-month comparison or year-on-year comparison. Okay. So यहाँ पे मैंने notes इसीलिए लिख रहा हूँ so that it is easier. Usually क्या होगा कि if you have a data for month-on-month data and then you're analyzing for a particular continent or for a customer or for a person and you plot the graph onto the waterfall chart, क्या होगा कि let's say when you're talking about the January, it will give you this bit, it will give you the total January information. Within the total January information, it will tell you, sorry, year on year comparison. Let's say, for example, year on year comparison kar rahe ho. So it will give you the total year on year, how much is the total sales. Within that, it will tell you January mein kitna hua, February mein kitna hua, March mein kitna hua, and then it will tell you if it is an increase or decrease in each of the place. If it is a decrease, you will usually see red in color. If it is an increase, it will be in the green in color. Got it? यहाँ पे जो
Yeah.
डेटा हमें यूज कर रहे हैं ये मंथ ऑन मंथ कंपैरिजन या कुछ भी नहीं है. इट इज सिंपली लाइक अ नॉर्मल कंपैरिजन डेटा, नॉर्मल डेटा. Okay, so that's the reason why you're not able to give or witness something more here. But what you can witness here on the next part is, so when I drill down also, it is going for each of the country. So everywhere it will be an increase because it is something like a giving individual data, which is absolutely not making sense, which I know. But for a moment, if you understand this, this is how you can actually use the data for a comparisons between year on year or month on month.
Hello, Shrikant.
Yes, I'm here. No, I didn't go anywhere. Tell me.
Okay. How are you getting this drill down option here, top of the chart?
अच्छा, एक्चुअली क्या हुआ कि विजुअल 5 में हमें एक्चुअली ड्रिल डाउन किया था ना, तो इसके वजह से. तो ड्रिल डाउन ऑप्शन में क्या है कि आपको यहाँ पे इस विजुअल में अगर देखोगे तो कैटेगरी में कॉन्टिनेंट और कंट्री मास्टर दोनों रखा मैंने, बस इतना ही है.
Okay. Okay. Continent and country master. Yeah, got it.
Got it? Great. So this is about the waterfall chart. Any questions on this? Shubhamita, you're able to do it?
Yes. Can we
Right.
put an average line or a maximum minimum line here as well?
I'll contact Power BI people and then tell them to add that analysis because you have only constant line here.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you have only constant line. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So now I'm going to the next visual, which is the funnel chart. Okay. I know that funnel chart was also the same way. Probably you might not see anything, but let's see. what the best I can able to give you on the funnel chart. So I'm renaming it as a Visual 6 and also तुरंत मैंने इसको change कर रहा हूँ funnel chart.
Visual 7.
Visual 7, okay. Funnel chart है,
Same,
funeral chart नहीं, ठीक है.
we'll duplicate same, right?
हाँ, यहाँ पे कुछ change करके देखते हैं और कुछ ऐसे. So first thing I'm going to click on the funnel chart, then the representation first changes everywhere.
So nice disease.
Okay. And as far as my understanding, there shouldn't be any analysis or analytics offered on the funnel chart. Right, my guess is correct. There is no options on the funnel chart. Okay. The funnel chart में क्या हो रहा है कि यहाँ पे it is going to give you both indications for the same continents. On the top, you could see the 100%. This is comparing with the 100% on the top and then giving you the comparison about the Asia, what percentage it is contributing on this. These are the two things that you can see on the top. Okay, and you write it here on your notes that no analysis or analytics. However, use the same chart for month on month or year on comparison. You can also use the same chart for comparisons. तो इसी चार्ट को मैंने अगर ड्रिल डाउन करके देखूं, ये ऐसे ही होगा. Got it?
Yeah.
Makes more sense?
Yes.
फनल चार्ट को फनल चार्ट जैसे ही यूज करना, ठीक है. Don't make a funeral chart of that. Okay. Everything is okay so far, everyone?
Yeah. Yes.
Sharda, Shikhar, the silent spectators of the class today, but still I'm good. They're following. Cool, buddies.
How did you get this view?
वही
You
सोच रहा
added-
हूँ, क्वेश्चन कहाँ क्यों नहीं आया?
You added which one to which axis? There.
एक ही मिनट, विजुअल 6 को कॉपी करके विजुअल 7 में लेके आया या नहीं?
हाँ.
तो इसको अगर फनल चार्ट को चेंज किया होगा तो ऑटोमेटिकली रहते हैं, बट लेकिन यहाँ पे ड्रिल डाउन ऑप्शंस आपको होना चाहिए यहाँ पे.
Drill down. Okay, and then?
यहाँ पे डबल एरो है, डबल एरो में क्लिक करके देखो, आपको मिलेगा ये.
Oh yes, got it. Okay, thank you.
Right. All right. So next, let's look at the next one. Okay. Again, I'm extremely sorry that I'm not going to talk anything about the scatter chart because scatter chart needs more of data and more of different way of representations it needs to have, and this is very difficult to understand. इसके लिए प्रॉपर डेटा होना चाहिए. जो प्रॉपर डेटा के बारे जब बोलूंगा तो हमारा डेटा तो यहाँ पे सफिशिएंट नहीं होता है, ठीक है. तो I'm extremely sorry that I'm not touch basing the scatter chart, but do not even think about the scatter charts every time. It makes very worst every okay. It makes I mean it makes your life very tedious there.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
अगर ये बोलोगे कि नहीं मुझे यही चाहिए, तो please you can find out in the Google also. You can get some dummy data over it. You can check that. That's the reason I'm not touch basing this. क्योंकि हम we are in a flow. Okay. All right. So now let's move on to the next visual, which is the pie chart, which is our very old tradition and then lovely chart that we always use. So I'm going to use the pie chart here. So अभी क्या कर रहा हूँ कि okay, before I go to the pie chart, let me do this. यही चार्ट को मैंने रेप्लिकेट करूंगा फिर से। Control C, which is copy, and then Control V. And I'm moving to the right hand side. And I'm going to rename this as pie chart. बस pie chart को represent कर रहा हूँ, इसको visual change किया था pie chart को। I'm just making a notes here. I'm deleting my notes. Notes का जरूरत नहीं यहाँ पे। तो यहाँ पे हमें pie chart लेके आ रहा है। Okay. So same pie chart you can put it onto the up one. मतलब एक रो ऊपर के जाओ, you will get to see this information, everything. But pie chart in Excel and pie chart in Power BI looks bit of different. When I say bit of different, it looks like it is good, no? Only thing what you are not able to experience with the Power BI or the Excel file is Excel फाइल में क्या होगा कि आप चेंज करने के बाद चार्ट को आपको इफेक्ट्स दे सकते हैं, जैसे इंटेंस इफेक्ट दे सकते हैं या कुछ और इफेक्ट दे सकते हैं। वही यहाँ पे नहीं है, बट स्टिल दिस लुक्स मच मोर क्रेजी and better look than compared to the Excel.
Yes.
And the first most thing is in Excel आपका क्या होगा कि you need to make more adjustments. Power BI में ऐसे करने का जरूरत ही नहीं. Everything looks in a simple way. Right?
Correct.
So now
Yeah.
I'm going to copy the same thing and then I am going to make a paste of this visual. हाँ, किसी को कुछ सवाल है, बोलो. Someone have a question?
No.
Shubhamita? No. Okay. So I'm going to make a copy of the same visual and then paste it down. And this time
I
I'm
have
going.
a question.
हाँ, फिर वही तो पूछ रहा हूँ मैं, बोलिए.
In the pie chart, the view that you're getting, I'm not getting that exact view. What are the axis or legend that you've chosen? Let me see.
यहाँ पे सॉरी, यहाँ पे आपको ड्रिल डाउन के ऊपर एक लेवल ऊपर लेके आना है. And this is
Okay.
what the legends you have.
Average cost or in USD, legend. Then scroll down. Tool tips. Average of KPI aggregate.
हाँ, टूल टिप्स का मतलब ये है कि ये it is going to give me the average KPI rating when I hover the mouse on that particular slice.
Got it.
Okay, have you guys done Control S so far? If you have not done, everything will go off now. Control S.
Yeah, we are done.
Lovely. So if you have done that, just make this another visual of it. Okay, make a visual. Just bring it down. Okay, and we are going to see the donut chart here. What you have done is the pie chart. Now you are going to look at the donut chart. So for this, I'm not changing anything. I'm not touching any data. All I'm doing is I'm just copied the visual from the top and pasted below. And then I select this visual and then changing this to the donut chart. That's it. So when I change this to the donut chart, that is where you can see multiple colorings with a multiple data, but with a nice view. Okay. And do you expect any analysis on this? Actually, no. So that's the reason I'm not changing any notes and keeping the same thing. इसके बदले मैंने क्या कर रहा हूँ कि मैंने आपको एक छोटा सा arrows भी दे रहा हूँ, so that the arrows will represent for you that this is for everything. Okay. So now your report looks contentful. Now, does it look organized, better, cool, and everything?
Yeah.
मैंने training दे के आपको सबको, even I am getting used to keep something better like this. All right. So now let's look at another visual. Make a copy of it. Duplicate page. And then keep the visual 8. अब यहाँ पे क्या कर
Complete
सकते
page,
हैं?
right?
हाँ, complete. So यहाँ पे मैंने I'm just removing few of the charts here. I'm just removing few of the charts which are not of use because क्योंकि सिर्फ ये इसके लिए अलग से एक पेज चाहिए हमको, so that you will feel better. Notes remain, let the notes be there. Notes का कुछ changes नहीं है. Let the notes be there. So you are using a tree map chart. And once I do this, I'm going to select this visual and then convert this to a tree map.
Tree map.
And I'm just expanding this tree map bit here so that you will see this. So let me know once you do this till here, I'll explain you about the tree map.
You.
Looks like a flag.
Looks like a flag. Which country?
Multiple.
Okay. So first thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill up to this one level. So I'll have only the data for the continents. I selected this visual, drilled up to one level, so I'll have only the continent. Now, if you have
How
done
to
this,
sorry to interrupt. How to know when to drill up?
how to know when to drill up? Whenever you have a hierarchy here, whenever you see a hierarchy, when you hover the mouse on the visual, whenever you see a hierarchy, you can just drill up and drill down to see the details. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shubhamita.
How to remove the hierarchy?
यहाँ पे जो कंट्री मास्टर और कॉन्टिनेंट दोनों किया था ना, एक रिमूव कर सकते हो, एक बिट रिमूव कर सकते हैं, यहाँ पे ड्रिल डाउन इंफॉर्मेशन चले जाएगा.
Okay, got it.
क्योंकि कॉन्टिनेंट के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं हम, अगेन कॉन्टिनेंट के साथ हमें कंट्री आना, सॉरी मतलब नीचे भी जाएगा, इसके नीचे भी जाएगा, मतलब कंट्री हायरार्की इज बीन मेंटेन.
Oh, okay.
All right. So now let's talk about the tree map. What is that you need to understand on the tree map? Tree map visual can be used for any. Let me make a notes. You don't need to have an year on year comparison or anything. Okay, use this visual for a broader explanation of statistics. So when I say broader perspective of the broader explanation of the statistics, for example, यहाँ पे जो tree map मैंने देखा, what is that you can understand with this tree map? What do you understand? What do you see on the tree map first? When you put this on a presentation,
different continents, the number showing it, like how many restaurants average is there.
right. Now, if you look at this, a simple way to understand, Europe is the top because यूरोप का एरिया ज्यादा ही है यहाँ पे, तो इसका मतलब ये है कि यूरोप is standing top in terms of average cost in, which is a higher 66.5 as an average cost, and then rating 4.09. If you look at the Oceania next to Europe, the next is Oceania, so that is where it is occupying more area. इसके बाद Africa थोड़ा सा less है, NAM and SAM both are with a equivalent thing, and then सबसे last है Asia. ट्री मैप विजुअल देखते ही आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि एरिया वाइज कहाँ ज्यादा है. Whatever the statistics you are putting in that statistics, that particular block is actually giving up more. So for example, when I go back down, when I drill down the same thing to the next level, तो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो कि सिंगापुर is standing more. Then Philippines, then UK, Qatar, New Zealand, UAE, Canada, South Africa, and so on, like this. Last is Turkey. Got it?
Yeah.
So tree map visualization will help you to see area wise how is it, which one is bigger. That's all. When I say area wise, not on the map, area wise according to your statistics, which one is bigger.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
And there are no analytics for this, so use this visual for a broader explanation of your statistics. Shows in a area wise. Don't worry, I'm going to share my file with you, everyone. All you need to do is to change the data source settings so that everything will get synchronized for you. Whenever you can go back, you can refer that. Okay? Now this is about the tree map, and what I want you guys to do is go to the visual page 7 and make a copy, not the visual 8. Make a copy of visual 7 and rename that as visual 9. Are you guys done till here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, from here you need to concentrate more. So whatever you have learned is something like Excel में देखा हमें यही तो replicate कर रहे, but अब जो steps visuals हमें देखने वाला है, this requires more of your concentration because you can create a beautiful visuals out of this from now on. However, it needs to be contentful, meaningful. This is where you need to drive. Okay, now let's start with this. यहाँ पे जो डेटा है, द पाई चार्ट का इंफॉर्मेशन है, तो इस पाई चार्ट को मैंने रीनेम कर रहा हूँ गेज चार्ट. You might have done this gauge chart in Excel file, but with a different tricky way. जैसे using different kinds of formats like pie chart को half ही रख के कुछ तो कुछ करते रहते हैं. But actual gauge chart in Power BI, how you are going to experience, this is now we are going to experience. Now what I'm going to do is on the first note, I'm going to select this visual pie visual, convert this to a gauge chart. So we already have did looked at the mapped and the fill map. So इसके बारे बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. So we are going to the gauge chart. So click on the gauge chart on the first node. So you're going to see some information here like this. Okay. Now you have got this information, everyone.
Yes.
तो यही पे जब जो विजुअल आपने देख रहे हो यहाँ पे जो विजुअल है, so under which now we are going to talk more about the build visual. Under the build visual you'll have the value, but I want you to remove the tooltips of the average KPI rating. Tooltips में average KPI rating है वो remove करके सिर्फ value में average cost in USD रखना.
Which one you removed?
Average KPI rating. Tooltips के अंदर KPI rating होगा तो इसको remove करना.
Okay.
Now we are going to look at the gauge chart. Let's see gauge chart में क्या offerings मिलता है हमको. पहले चीज है gauge chart में आपको analytics का offering कमी मिलता है या नहीं मिलेगा, बिल्कुल नहीं मिलेगा. So this bit here will be good, but I'm going to change the notes here and I'll update it later. तो पहले हम देखेंगे यहाँ पे चार्ट में कैसे डील करेंगे. तो यहाँ पे सिर्फ आपको एवरेज कॉस्ट इन यूएसडी एनालाइज कर रहे हो. ओके, this is giving you the average cost in the USD. So it gives you some information there wherein gauge chart it says the average is 10.892 क्योंकि हमें average किया था. But what is that use of using a gauge chart? Now I want to give a minimum value here. Okay, I want to give a minimum value. So I'm using the average cost in USD again. From the append one, I'm going to bring the average cost in USD and put it onto the minimum value. Okay, now this time when I put it onto the minimum value, I'm going to select this drop down, select the minimum. Okay, and similarly on the maximum value, bring the cost in USD again and bring the maximum. Oh sorry, पहले इसको average का cost लेंगे. So it is going to be the same thing. इसका maximum भी रखेंगे तो this will not be the better one. No, this is not a good one. हाँ, तो एक काम करेंगे. Let's not use this one. Remove all the values, minimum value and maximum value. Now let's look at the another way wherein bring the aggregate rating, KPI aggregate rating. Instead of cost in USD, bring the aggregate rating. तो aggregate rating को average change कर रहे हैं हम. And minimum value मैंने यहाँ पे रख रहा हूँ कि minimum and cap maximum value को aggregate rating लेके आ रहा हूँ. इसको maximum रख रहा हूँ. Now this should make sense more. And I'll tell you so far till do it till here, everyone.
Yeah.
Got it? So what I did, I replaced the values with the aggregate rating everywhere, and then minimum में minimum रखा, maximum में maximum रखा. So what does this indicate? Worldwide, the aggregate minimum aggregate given as 0, minimum aggregate rating is given 0. So there could be some location which has given 0. However, the average rating is given as 2.67. I'm analyzing it in that way. And the maximum rating is given as 4.90. कहीं भी 5 rating नहीं दिया था, लेकिन aggregate rating दिया था 4.90. Till here it is okay.
Yep.
Now you'll see how this can be changed. अब क्या करना है कि लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में जो funnel chart है, funnel chart को remove करना. Just simply select that and delete it, and remove that heading also. I don't require the heading also, so I'm going to delete the heading. नोट्स रहने दो, नोट्स तो रहने दो। अब क्या करेंगे, यहाँ पे जो फनल चार्ट का नाम और लेबल और फनल चार्ट को रिमूव करके, बस मैंने अभी यहाँ क्या करना, अभी क्या कर रहा हूँ कि कॉन्टिनेंट को लेके आ रहा हूँ एंड चेंज दिस टू अ स्लाइसर मोड, change this to a slicer mode, and then put it like a drop down here like this, or you can just see it here like this. I'm not spending my time more on the formatting, rather I'm just keeping it here. Okay, now select Africa. You should see the aggregate minimum rating is changed. It is 3.40, aggregate average is 4.21, 4.90. I know donut charts also changed, don't worry about the donut chart. बस यही पे यहाँ पे यही देखो, concentrate करना, क्या check करना कि gauge chart change हो रहे हैं नहीं के. Minimum value for each of the continent. So now I could see with this, Asia is rated somewhere 0. Similarly, when I click on the Europe, you could see the 0 is the result 0 rating also somewhere. When I click on the NAM, yes, it has 0 rating. Oceania also have
Can you
2.30.
repeat it? You
Of
went
course,
so
I can
fast.
repeat it. Okay.
From the continent you took it there. Okay.
First thing,
That's
I cleared everything and then brought the continent onto the graph. इस विजुअल को मैंने स्लाइसर चेंज कर रहा हूँ. स्लाइसर चेंज करने के बाद बस मैंने यहाँ पे रखा. Nothing I have done, just simply I created till here. After this, select one of the continent to see your values should change.
Okay.
So when I click on the SAM, you can see the minimum is 0, but when I
change.
right, when I click on the Oceania, you can see now the value is 2.30.
Correct.
So when you work on the gauge chart, you need to have 3 values. एक तो मतलब average का जरूरत ही नहीं. You can keep anything. If it is sum of sales value, you can keep an average sales value, put a minimum sales value, maximum sales value, just to see and make sure people how it is, how we are doing in the Oceania region. यहाँ पे मैंने explain कर सकता हूँ कि Oceania में the average minimum rating is 2.3, maximum rating is 4.90, but the average rating is given as 4.04. Right? If I go to Asia, it is different. 2.56 is the average. Similarly, if I go to Europe, 4.09, SAM 3.76, and Africa, it is 4.21. Likewise. You understand like how we are using a gauge chart? The whole point is how the gauge chart can be represented. So here you can use the gauge chart can be used for multiple purposes. When I say multiple purpose, like gauge chart.
Yeah.
For a comparison of a single attribute. I'll say attribute. यहाँ पे सिंगल एट्रीब्यूट क्या है? KPI एग्रीगेट रेटिंग. इसको यही पे यूज कर रहे हैं कि मिनिमम एंड मैक्सिमम डाल के हमें चेक कर रहा है. See again, it depends upon your data what it is demanding, but इस वाला data में we are using it in this way. Got it?
Yes.
All right. So next thing what you need to do is just below that, you are going to rename this visual. इसको हमें KPI rating, KPI charts डालेंगे. KPI influencer. What we are going to say, KPI influencer नहीं, KPI रखेंगे. वो key influencer कहते हैं. Just below the gauge chart. हाँ, just below the same chart on the visual line, donut के बदले KPI chart रख रहे हैं हम.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm removing this arrow also so that it will not mislead you about the notes. So Abhi, we'll look at the KPI chart. Okay. Before that, Shubhamita, everyone, you guys are okay with the gauge chart?
No, help
Ah,
me.
kya hua?
I'm stuck in the after that. I've selected KPI rating as maximum, minimum, and it's showing me 25.47K. The whole thing is blue.
KPI aggregate लेकिन KPI aggregate लेकिन sorry KPI aggregate लेके आए
हाँ, वैल्यूज में क्या डालना है? एवरेज.
average
सबका एवरेज डालना है, राइट? सब में.
नहीं, फर्स्ट वाला एवरेज है, मिनिमम वैल्यू में मिनिमम है, मैक्सिमम में मैक्सिमम है.
Okay, now got 2.67. Okay.
अब कंटेंट का स्लाइसर लेके आया.
Continent का when I'm pasting the slicer, it's saying map and field map visuals are disabled. To enable, go to settings.
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, बस वही सेलेक्ट करके स्लाइसर लगाओ, हो जाएगा काम.
Continent. I'll bring the continent under.
Okay, do one thing. Share your screen. It's a good topic that we can discuss. Just share your screen. I'll tell you.
How will I share? Because I'm on my
Oh,
phone.
forget. Thank you. Sorry. Usually, क्या होगा कि what you can do is when you have such kind of problem, you have to go to the file, click on options and settings. So for everyone, whenever there is a message like the maps are disabled, क्योंकि latest version में जब refresh होने के बाद, this is what it happens every time.
Yeah.
So you can click on the option and settings under the file.
File, option and settings. Okay.
Click on the options.
Options.
इसके बाद एक box खुलेगा.
Yeah, even I had got the same thing when I started yesterday.
Okay.
There is then again security. So to go to the security.
Perfect. Go to the security.
Then you can
Scroll
allow,
down.
right?
so, yeah, you can just
Tick mark this.
use the
Map and
field.
fill visuals use, right?
Yep.
Enable it. Yeah.
And click OK.
Put a check mark, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you do that, you will see the maps again.
Yeah.
It get disabled, so it has to be enabled. That's it.
And now put slicer.
Convert that to a slicer.
How? How to convert this to a slicer?
Just select that visual. Select that visual and then select that to slicer. That's it. Select the slicer visual.
From home.
Home tab visualizations में.
A visualization slicer.
अब continent को लेके आया. और continent visual, world map visual select करके इसको slicer में convert करना है. Simple.
Under visuals or general?
कहाँ जा रहे हो? Visuals में build visual के नीचे.
Build
First
visual
वाला.
के नीचे.
First वाला. हाँ, add visual. Okay,
It's
see the screen here.
start.
See the screen here. I'm going to bring the continent here. When
It's
I bring
becoming
the
a map.
Yeah, it becomes a map. Like this. It becomes a map.
Correct.
So already selection में है visual.
हाँ.
इसको build visual में add visual के नीचे जाके यहाँ पे slicer को change करना है.
There. Yes. Okay. Got it.
Mita, this is the very first session that we have done. आप भूल गया?
Yes. Sorry, I found it. I was looking for that logo.
Okay.
Thank you. Got it.
Okay. Now, can you please rename the chart below as a KPI chart, the below one?
Yeah,
below.
did that.
Okay. Now, we are going to select this KPI chart visual here. जो डोनट का चार्ट ऑलरेडी हमें रखा है, इसको हमें यहाँ पे केपीए का चार्ट है, तो मैं केपीए चार्ट में चेंज कर रहा हूं। ठीक है, इसको केपीए चार्ट में चेंज किया। So when I convert this into a KPI chart, you see a different statistics like this.
Yes.
All right. So let me tell you a simple fact. KPI charts can be used when you have a data for KPI. So when I say the KPI, क्या होगा कि when you have a sales number and against that you have a target sales and a target sale, then your KPI chart will be easy for you to identify. अब यहाँ पे जो इंफॉर्मेशन, मतलब ये जो डेटा आप ऑलरेडी जो देख रहे हो यहाँ पे, दिस इज नॉट द प्रॉपर वन। गॉट इट? दिस इज नॉट ए प्रॉपर वन। तो क्या है, फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे जो केपीआई चार्ट सेलेक्ट किया था, एवरेज कॉस्ट इन यूएसडी को मैंने चेंज कर रहा हूँ, वैल्यू से निकाल के एग्रीगेट रेटिंग लेके आ रहा हूँ यहाँ पे, एंड देन से दैट टू एवरेज। गॉट इट? I posted it to average, and the trend axis will be for by continent, and the target is again I'm going to put it as, यहाँ पे जो एग्रीगेट रेटिंग है इसका एवरेज के बदले मैंने एक्चुअली क्या लिख रहे वाला हूँ कि मैक्सिमम। नाउ डू यू सी दैट देयर इज एन रेड इन कलर हियर? So let me explain it first again. What does your KPI chart have? As I told you, you are going to analyze. For example, let's say Shubhamita is there. Shubhamita is doing her sales. Okay, so every month her target is around $50,000. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll want to check her KPI on the Power BI in such a way that her target will always remain as 50,000. तो आपका डेटा में टारगेट का कॉलम होना चाहिए, आपका डेटा में टारगेट का कॉलम होना चाहिए। Against the target column, we are going to plot your sales number. So let's say she have achieved around 40,000. Now, when I brought the information onto the Power BI, in terms of KPI chart, value becomes sum of the sales, target becomes target of the sales ID. तो अब क्या होगा, गोल में 50,000 दिखाएगा और इसके ऊपर इन्होंने जितना भी सेल्स किया, that number is going to be shown up here. So that becomes in the red in color here.
Okay.
If suppose she did a 52,000 sales, then it goes in a green color and then show $52,000, and then the goal becomes 50,000.
Correct.
And it also tells me to which level I am actually behind my goal. So I'm around 23.2% here.
23.2. Okay.
Yeah. Matlab, this is automatically calculating. You don't need to do anything. This is what I'm saying. It is automatically calculating that. Just give me a minute, sir. Got it?
Yes.
So right now, currently I'm at 3.76, but my goal is 4.90. I'm behind 23.2. I'm behind 23.2% of goal. Makes sense? Just give me a minute again.
Right.
Sorry. Right. So this is on the statistics, but now you might be still wondering what is the color code behind and how it is showing in a different way. So let me explain this color वाला ये कैसे graph हो रहा है. ये actually क्या हो रहा है कि this is right now undefined statistics right now it is an undefined statistics, but otherwise around what happens is when I select on one of the continent, okay, you can see on the behind the data is actually not being shown.
Yeah.
Reason behind that, in fact, when we plot a data, it is actually showing you this is Africa like this in a line by line. Africa, Asia, Europe, NAM, Oceania, and SAM. There are 5 values here. So we are keeping up the 5 values. समझ रहे हो ना? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points are there. I mean, you don't need to worry about that. That's what I just wanted to tell you. You don't need to worry, but I'm just saying you what are the different kinds of points that it is analyzing. अगर यहाँ पे मैंने country डालूं तो country के वजह से it will go in a different direction.
Okay.
But what you need to be really worried about is the number and their goals. ठीक है?
Huh.
So I'm just making a notes here. KPI. Use this for analyzing target versus sales, something like that.
Okay.
Right. Okay, as an example, I'm just saying this is an example, you can just put it. So you need to have both the cases. Okay. The target should be in a different column, sales should be in a different column. That is when your KPI can be used. How about remaining everyone? You guys were able to understand this?
Yes.
Shekhar and Sharda. Okay, good. All right. So far we are good on this. और एक चीज है, I haven't covered the multi-card here. Okay, I'll tell you why I'm not covering the multi-card. आपको कार्ड का विजुअल के बारे आप सुना है ना? Like you did this card earlier, right? You remember? Where we did these cards?
Yeah.
The very first visualization under the world map you brought is the card. You remember that part? So whatever the numbers you see, if I keep this in a multiple way, when I say multiple way, it will be 1 by 1. Okay, it just comes like a 1 by 1. So what does that mean in? If I'm bringing a multi-card row here, multi-row card, okay? You can just see when I bring the multi-row card, okay, let's do one thing. Add the multi-row card. Okay, add the multi-row card here. Just keep it aside. Don't do anything right now. Let's look into the remaining visuals. I'll come back to the last on the multi-row card. I'll cover another topic and then show you how the multi-card works like. Will that be okay?
Yes.
Okay. So just add the multi-row card on this bit and then leave it and then go to the next visualization. So make a duplicate page. Visual 10, visuals 10. And यहाँ पे I'm going to remove on the visuals 10. I'm going to remove this multi-row card. I'm going to remove the gauge chart. I'm going to remove the KPI chart. I'm going to remove this KPI वाला यहाँ पे भी remove कर रहा हूँ. Notes तो रहने दो. Notes का कोई चिंता नहीं है. Notes का रहने दो. But यहाँ पे gauge chart के बदले मैंने लिख रहा हूँ यहाँ पे key influencer. Okay, I'm going to say this is called the key influencer chart. Okay.
So you took only continent in the canvas, right?
Visuals 10 में I have removed everything apart from the continent filters notes and I gave a
Okay.
name called key influencer. इतना ही किया मैंने.
ठीक है.
All right. So now let's look at the key influencer chart. So go to your visualizations. Under that you will have the key influencer. Select the key influencer chart. So you'll see the key influencer coming onto the screen like this. So expand it here and then keep it like this. Okay, so let's see the key influencer. And as I told you, this is one of the visualizations which is a bit tricky, in nature. However, it is also easier when it comes when you are more used to the data. Okay, I mean, this is going to be much more easier as I told you, but when you analyze it, it becomes a bit tricky in nature. Okay. So what does the key influencer chart will tell you? For example, as an instance, let's take again, we are taking Namita as an instance. So Namita is doing very, very good on the sales. Okay. So she became a motivator for the remaining other people. She's doing absolutely great. And then she became more influencer to the other people. Now, what does her manager think? Okay, Namita is doing absolutely great. I mean, the Shubhamita is doing absolutely great. Now let's see which areas she is doing actually good. And also, if her manager come and ask, okay, Mita, since you are doing very good, can you tell me what is your which area you're doing absolutely good, which continent, and what is the influence on that particular continent? How is it actually doing really good? If he wants to know such kind of information, okay, if he is wants interested to understand such kind of information, then that is where the key influences can be used onto the Power BI. So here we are going to just keep very, very simple. What is that I want to do now? In Mita's case, like what is it I want to analyze? See, the first thing when I click on the key influencer, you are going to see on the build visuals, you are going to see analyze, explain by, expand by. ठीक है, यही पे information है. तो तीनों चीजें. So right now what I have told, what is that we want to analyze?
The continent.
Okay, we are going to see the ratings. Let's say, for example, I want to see the rating here. So I'm going to bring the rating. And I will say this is an average. Okay. So it says no fields and explained by. When I put this on the analyze, no fields explained by. Correct? Now let's say I want to bring by country and put it onto the explain by. Now it says there are no analysis run. So, but still don't worry about that. I'm going to bring the city data also onto this. Okay, just wait. As I told you, this is bit tricky. It always keep happening like this. Let me put the other way around. Okay, country master and doesn't have the data. Okay. Right. Let me take the same thing, analyze this KPI rating, and just give me a minute. Don't do anything. Cost in USD is fine. Can I explain this by cuisines? Country master. I can explain by KPI rating. Right. Let's look at this way. Sum के बदले average रख के देखते हैं क्या हुआ. हाँ. So let's look at this one. I'm analyzing the cost in USD. I'm analyzing the cost in USD, and I'm analyzing the I'm explaining the same thing by average aggregate rating. तो इसका मतलब क्या है कि if you remember on one of the visuals we have done, I remember visual which is this on the visual 7 or 8, 6. Sorry, visual 5. Yeah. यहाँ पे जो देखा आपको याद है कि यूरोप में we are doing that 65.50 and 4.09 the line chart.
Yes.
So now we are looking at the same visual in a different way. What does it actually tells me is overall around the world. What does it exactly explains? Overall the world. Okay. When I look at the average cost in the USD, it tells me, okay, let me put this average cost. Let me not put this thing. So what does this actually tells me is I should not actually put it by this one. ठीक है, यहाँ पे data नहीं मिल रहा तो इसीलिए. ठीक है, let's say the cost in USD for example. Okay, the average cost in the USD, if I look at this, it says the average of KPI rating is more than 3.90 and the average cost is becoming 16.57. Now in this particular direction, when I'm looking at the increase, okay, what it exactly says, if the average rating is around 0.0, there is no impact. 3.40 तक कुछ भी impact नहीं है. 3.40 से 3.70 लेके अगर impact कैसे है कि it is increasing around 16.57 with the increase in the average cost. As I told you, like this influencer part is bit tricky in nature. You need to have a proper data, a very proper data. I can give you an example what is been shown in a different way, but not here. But just try to understand the concept where it works exactly. For example, when I click on the average, when I click on the Africa, it doesn't give me an analysis here. So let's say it is not giving me any analysis. Okay. Or if I want to bring more analysis here, okay. Or let's say country, explained by country and then the average of it. See what it says. When the country is United Kingdom, the average cost is increasing by 55.14. This is United Kingdom is actually influencing the market. However, if I look at the overall picture, you can see the Singapore is actually on the top and Turkey is doing the least. If you remember the tree map visualization, what we have done, I think this is in which thing? Sixth visualization? No, fourth one or ninth. I'm sorry, I forget that visualization, which is there in the ninth. No, eighth one.
No,
Yeah, eighth visualization. You see this Singapore? Average cost in the USD and average KPI rating by country. We gave it tree map, you remember? In the tree map, it shows Singapore is the top. Correct?
Yeah.
थोड़ा समझने के लिए टाइम लगेगा, समझ सकता हूँ, but लेकिन this is how it is being given. On the tree map, I have given the visualization stating that by average cost for each continent, for each country, what is the average rate and average rating and average cost. This is what I have analyzed in the tree map. The same bit I'm analyzing it in the key influencer by adding more number of values, what it says, analyze the cost in USD and explain it by country and explain by average rating. Okay, so it goes down and drill down. So which means it is first analyzing the cost in USD and it tells me by country. If I look at that, UK is influencing more in this case. So UK, the cost is going very high and the average rating is also high. Similarly, next to that is New Zealand, then UAE. Then when I say this is the average of the KPI rating is coming as 16.57 with 3.90. Maybe when you analyze with your own data, you can also get more insights over it. But if I look at the decrease of this, see where my cost is going down. My cost is going down in India country, which is around 28.89. And what it says, when the country is India, the average cost is 28.89. Okay. And the influencer approximately 90% of your data, it is analyzing and then giving you this information.
Okay.
The another beauty part of all this is when I'm looking at this increase part, you can see the values have been the influencer. When I click on the influencer value here, it just tells me only the influence here, what it is actually showing. I mean, what this is, what it is showing here, it is analyzing on the right hand side in a pictorial way. I mean, in a clustered way. Similarly, if I go to the segment of it, it will have a different segment value here. So it tells me this 36.99. I mean, this is a deeper insight of it. In fact, this is a deeper insight of it. But what you can learn is you can just learn how the key influencer comes into the picture. Now, looking at this, I could say, okay, in United Kingdom, the cost is very high, as simple as it. In United Kingdom, the average cost is very, very high. Okay. So when my rating has been around 3.90, the average dollar should be around 16.57. Now, based on this direction, what it can say, I can set the market rate, how I need to reduce or increase the cost of the quizzens. Okay, is it so much critical?
Little bit.
Fine, I'll tell you the simple factor. I'll share you one Google link. Do that Google link and then see. Put your data, your real-time data in scenario, because your real-time scenario, you know very well about your data. So try to use that and put an influencer and then see, you might understand some insights over it, what you're talking. Each and every business is different. Now in this business, this is a different scenario. Okay.
Okay.
So don't worry about that. Don't get so disconnected. Just try to analyze what the best you can able to see. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's do one thing. I will add one more visual on the same page, which is called the Q&A. Visual on the Q&A comes in here. So we are going to see the Q&A here. I know we are running out of the time. With your permission, I'll just go with the 15 minutes, but I'll just stop it there. I'll cover up the remaining topic. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I am adding the Q&A visual here. Okay. So what does this Q&A visual actually tells me? So let me keep it a bit above. And let me increase this. All right. So what does the Q&A actually help me? So Q&A will actually help me to understand in an overall picture. Okay. With all your data loaded here, with all the data that you have loaded here, with all the data, Power BI offers you a simple way. Let's say, for example, what is this Q&A exactly used for? Let's say, for example, you have built different statistics so far. Okay, so you can see we have built around 10 to 15 visuals. But when you submit these visuals and analysis to someone, to your manager, sometimes at times, like, people are not so satisfied. Okay, hey, good, you have done a very great job, but can we add few more information here? Can I see some more information? Now, what is that some more information comes in? Can I see the total for certain continent or country? Then what does it happen? So what will you do? You'll come back and then go back and sit on your desktop and then open it and then again redo the job? No. Then that is where you are going to tell, hey, look, you know what? We have got a Q&A visual here, right? Or let me do one thing. Let me do one thing. Let me actually add this visual outside, not here. Let me add this visual separately so that you will get more understanding. I'm just doing it too much here, but so instead of loading more, I'll add this one. I'll remove the key influencer and I'll say this as Q&A. And let me bring this Q&A here. Or I'll delete it. I'll add the Q&A freshly here on this page. So I'm going to add a new visual here called the Q&A. And I'll keep it here. Right. That's better. So I renamed the page and then I brought it here. Now let's see what is the Q&A talks about. All right, so you can see when I talk about the Q&A, there are certain questions which are coming up here automatically. What it says, maximum append one cost in USD, how many aggregate ratings are there, how many maximum append. So now let's say, for example, you have given all the possible statistics, but there is one of the statistics where you might have not given, but your manager wants to see, okay, can I see some more information? Right, now you'll say, so there is a visual here on the BI. What is that visual that you can work on? Let's say, for example, I want to see the cost in USD by city. Okay, I gave cost in USD by city. So
Okay.
when I give the cost in USD, I need to also, yeah, I need to also, okay, you can either type in like this or command here. ICT. What is happening with this? Okay, show all the suggestions. Let's say, let's pick up one of the simple suggestion here. What it says, how many aggregate ratings are there? Let's say when I click on that, how many aggregate ratings are there? Now you should see an information comes in here automatically. So there are 33 aggregate ratings. But let's say when I talk about the cost, now it is appearing here. Cost in USD. Oh yeah, the problem is you have to type it in the language where it can understand. Like you can see cost in USD, append one, cost in USD. Okay. By city. Now when I slowly type in, you see here append one cost in USD by city. Now do you see that there is a simple graph which is automatically created?
Wait a minute.
Okay. Other guys, can you try this? We are
Cost.
okay.
Append.
Do you get anything?
Cost USD.
Okay, type append 1.
1 second. Append 1.
Now, do you see append 1 table coming?
Yes.
Right.
It's
After that,
coming.
do you see some statistics like now slowly type cost in USD or something, because you will get some more information there.
Cost by USD. Cost in USD by C. ठीक है?
Append 1 select करने के बाद cost in USD by city डालना, automatically you'll get some data.
Yes.
Does it appear?
Yes.
Okay. So what you're doing exactly is already you have the
Yes, it's
data
coming.
within, right? You have the data within here. Only thing is you're just analyzing instantly some data. Now this is append 1 cost in USD, cost in USD by city. Okay. Now let's say I would say I have cuisines. Okay. Count of, let's say, I'll say count of cuisines.
Okay. In the same
Now
append 1?
it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. You can just mention anything. Count of cuisines or append 1. Okay, always I think
I'm
it's
getting a
better that you
number.
can then you can better type append 1 first, so you'll see
Yeah,
the data.
that's better.
Okay, then give a space,
And then
cuisines.
count of cuisines.
Yeah, or you
We
can just
can't
type
tell
cuisines
which field.
first.
Okay.
It's giving you the cuisines list, correct?
Yes, correct.
Then type count cuisines, then it is analyzing. Okay, then it gives you the total number of cuisines here.
Yes. Oh, you are getting the graph.
Yeah, it gets in the graph.
Okay, count cuisines. Yeah. One second. Yes, correct.
Right.
Yes, I'm getting it. Yeah.
So if you leave this question and answer visual like this, what happens? The user can able to question anything, put a question for himself, like append 1 or something, and then they can see the results instantly here.
True.
Okay.
Yep.
The deeper insights of it requires some login credentials. Otherwise, around I could have taken you some more details information. But what you can just say, this is a simple question and answer which will be useful for you in case if there is any method. Okay. Once after analyzing, you can just instantly analyze the data and then you can show them.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So let's talk about the last two visuals I'll be taking through. For that, what I require your help is I need okay, so let's create one more visual, simple visual. Let's create a sheet called visuals 12. Okay, as empty canvas, and then I'm going to put a decomposition tree here. This is the last visual that we are talking about, and then I have one simple talk.
12, it's a blank, right? We will create.
Yeah, we are creating from the scratch.
Okay.
After this, I'm going to tell you one simple part which is really helpful for you. I think that is asked by Sharda or something. And then I will put the same thing on the multi-row card for you to see how the values looks like. So on the visuals too now, click on the decomposition tree from the visuals. There is an option called decomposition tree. Okay. So click on the
Yes.
decomposition, and then you can just analyze and keep it here like this. And now that what you are going to see, look at the visual is, now bring the cost to USD, or let's say aggregate rating anywhere. Okay, let's bring the cost in USD onto the analyze. You
Okay.
now whatever you are doing, you have done on the key visuals 10. Okay, आपको पता है ना की influencer के बारे में हमें बात किया था, वही key influencer we are looking at a different direction, which is called the decomposition tree. Now you might feel this might be much more easier than the other key influencer, but just take a look. Now I want to analyze the cost in USD, right? Explain by. Now I'm going to bring the continent first.
Explain by continent. Okay.
Explain by continent. Now this is good. The moment once you do this, you can observe the cost in USD has been shown as 103.370. Against to that, there is a plus symbol.
Yes.
On this plus symbol. And the moment once you plus on the click on the plus symbol, you will have three options called high, low, continent. You can click on the continent, high value, and it is going to expand the value like this.
Correct. Yeah.
So what does this tell me? The cost in USD is becoming so high based because the Asia is giving top.
True.
Asia is doing top because the highest value has been given as a dotted line.
Correct.
And next to that, you can see the remaining data, which is NAM, Europe, how the contribution is going on. Now again, if your manager asks, okay, can you tell me within Asia which is doing more? What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the country and then put it onto the explain by. Explain by के below continent के नीचे ही डाल रहा हूँ यहाँ पे country. अब continent country add करने के बाद आपको देख सकते हैं कि every continent have a plus symbol now.
Correct.
Now what I want to do is I will click on the plus symbol. This time I'm not going to use high or low. Rather, I'll click on the country master directly. So now what happened?
Oh, it's showing the country wise also.
Within Asia, it is showing me the country wise. But does it run any analysis like which is the highest value or lowest value? ये जो information है ना यहाँ पे, this blue dotted line, this is not appearing in any direction, but it is still giving in a descending order.
Yes.
At any given point in time, if you want a high or low value to show up, you can hover the mouse on this particular place and then click on this. You can lock the level or you can unlock a level. Okay. And you will also have the information where you can actually drill through data point. Not the data point table. Just give me a minute. So what you can do is you can actually run the analysis here, right? This is the analysis bit. Values. I forgot this value. Okay, where I can get this. Okay, let me close this again and then reopen this job and then click on the high value. So this is the option is this. This is ideas. Actually, this is what we call it as idea. Okay, let me see where is this idea coming up. Okay, I need to find out. Okay, so again, when I click on the highest value, it is showing up. Or either I can click on the highest value click on the ideas, then this is gone. Okay.
Yeah.
So rather than showing that on the key influencer, if you want, you can show it on the decomposition tree, like this.
Sure. We can add on the explain by tools, right?
Yeah, you can keep add on. You can again add the KPIs also. If you want, you can add the KPI and then show an on average. Okay. And then when I click on this,
That's on the high.
highest value or something, it will show me what is the highest value on the KPI
The
average
rating
rating.
also you can check.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, friends. Correct. Decomposition.
Okay. So this is called decomposition tree. And then, yes, obviously you will not find any analytics over this. So you don't need to worry about that. There is no analysis.
This is
So
a
I'll
very
just,
good part showing the data decomposition tree.
okay.
Yeah.
Right. So the last one, what I'm going to do is, right, so far we have covered all the visuals. Okay. All the visuals we have covered so far, whatever you have some more visuals, but you need to have account for that. So on the desktop version, whatever you can use all this visual. And the last topic, which just takes around 5 minutes to explain. But again, remember this point, what I'm talking about. The option right now, what I'm showing, you need to practice it more. Otherwise, around you're not going to get this. You need to practice it more.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to get. Okay.
Yes.
You remember now the cost in USD and then KPI average rating. So far, you remember that you had bringing this onto the values, and then you are converting this to average, or you are converting this to some count or count distinct everything. You remember?
Yeah.
So when I select on this, when I click on the cost in USD, now you remember that you have this option of you are changing this every time, correct?
Yes, average. Yeah.
Right. Now that what we are going to do, or what we are going to say is, I'm going to put a simple calculation. Okay, but this is a simple way of looking at the data. So when I click on the right append one, when I click on this append one table here and right click here, there is an option called new measure here.
Okay.
There is an option called new measure. Click on the new measure. I'm doing it on the append one table. So what the point here, what is that I'm going to do? While it happens, I'm just going to tell you what is that we are going to do. What you saw earlier is you are bringing the attribute and then changing the attribute. But rather, I can also do another way where I can create a new measure that counts the attribute directly, like it gives me either a sum or average directly. Instead of me changing this, I can use that in a simple way, which is an indirect way.
Correct.
Okay.
Showing
What
some
does this indirect
measure is equal to formula.
exactly? So there is a formula here coming up. So I'll say average cost like this. Okay. The name I have given is average cost. Now that what I need to do is I need to type the formula called average here. And I took the average, open bracket, and then I'm choosing the append one cost in USD because I want to do the average for this particular column and click enter.
Average cost in USD. And what did you take? That's it.
See, I gave a
Append
name
one.
average. Yeah, that's all. I gave a name called average cost and is equal to I started the function called average. Open bracket, and I selected append one cost in USD column and then close the bracket.
Fine.
Now the moment I do it here, you can see there is a symbol here like a calculator or mobile. You can see this is called a measure. This is a simple calculation. ये देखोगे कि go to the visuals 10, go to the visuals 10 sheet, 10 or 9, 9 I guess. Yeah, go to the visuals 9. Okay. Now what you can do is you can bring the average cost, what you have done here, bring that average cost directly onto this canvas. Bring the average onto the canvas.
Okay.
Now, do you see this answer called 10.802? What are measures? Measures are in this way, where you can actually create a custom formula, but it is giving you the direct result of it. So what does this mean in? When I click on Asia, you can see the average cost keeps changing here.
Correct. Yeah.
This is called the
As per
measure.
the continent, it will change. Yeah.
Yeah, everything. I mean, you're doing the measure on the overall table, but it will drill down the information the moment when you select anywhere. You select any data, this will automatically give you the data here. And this data is nothing but it is actually matching with your home page. Now I have added the average cost. Similarly, if I bring the KPI rating onto this, now you can see the average KPI rating. Or let's say the KPI rating is this one. I'm changing this to the average. So you can see the average rating, aggregate rating is given. So this rating is matching with this here.
True. 3.76, correct.
Similarly, when I go to Africa, you can see the same thing.
Yes, it's 4.20.
This is called multi-row, multi-card row. Okay. What you saw earlier is a single card. Now you are doing a multi-card row. That's all.
Okay.
Multi-card. So now you can understand how the multi-card looks like.
Yes.
I mean, you can add more number of attributes here. It's not just only limited to only one thing. You can add more number of attributes. Whatever the attributes you want to add, you can add more number of attributes. Like, let's say I can bring in the restaurant ID also here onto this. And I'll say count distinct. So it tells me the count distinct of it.
So as per continent, he'll get the details. Fine.
Yes, yes.
Perfect.
All right. So I'll stop it here. Anything else that I wanted to cover? Important topics. Measure we have covered. This is this. So whatever you have learned is a kind of a basic part, but again, when it comes to the visualizations, you have all the information accessible. Okay. So you can just play around with this. I'll share the file, you'll play around. And for your information, just for your information, I'm going to send you one more file to you guys. Do not share the file outside the market. Please, I repeat it again, do not share this file outside the market. This is only for your information. What I have done, I created one particular database. Okay, I mean a full-fledged report. I created a full-fledged report. So this report is exactly the report what you have dealt earlier. Okay, so use this as a concept. Okay, keep this as your reference. Do not share it outside to any one of your friends or anything. Just keep it because this is a real-time data, but do not go and fight with the people again looking at this data. So just keep it as an example and then see. I'm going to share you the file what I created right now for the training session. Along with it, I'm going to share you this PBIX file because this will be a reference for you. That's the whole point. This is going to be the reference for you. Okay, and this reference you can
Okay.
just keep it and then see how I have created the charts. How is it actually being created?
Shrikant, just a question. Just like Excel and PowerPoint, can we also protect the file, whatever we are working in Power BI?
You cannot protect the file here like this, but for protecting or doing that, you need to have a organization account.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Otherwise, around you will not have that way.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So this is, anyways, as I'm going to give you this file for you guys, so you can just take a look. That's a different one. But keeping this as a reference, you can also verify at any given point in time, how does it work? What does it work?
We can practice this. Yeah.
Keep practicing more. Keep practicing more. You'll get to know more about this. Okay.
Yeah.
I know it is just taking a bit. Okay, let's do one thing. While it is getting loaded, probably you guys can able to tell me how was your experience from the day 1 and day 4. So now from nowhere you have started from the Power BI, but right now, in which level do you guys think with this session, how you guys are placed?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Like now at the end of this session, we could understood and we can make so many charts and analysis part, visuals.
Right. So do you have the confidence that you can able to do with your own data?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
At least the basic representation, yes, we can.
Yeah. So this is the actual data I have created and then given. So this is how it looks like.
Wow.
You are given nice one images.
Yeah,
Asia,
you can
Africa.
create more and more. You can give like this.
Super.
So this is just the factor, like they can see, and then so this is by rating. This is again by cost. It is
Directly by
again a different.
cost. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. This is for
So
each of
neat.
the continent and everything.
Mhm.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I'll give you the same way. I'll give you this also. Keep this as a reference, and then you can just use this. Okay.
Sure.
So what I would be expecting is, I am expecting that you guys will explore yourself with your own data and then bring some good kinds of reports or that you can able to do it. And I'm sure you will be definitely doing it, I'm sure. But it's just that it's my concern that you have to keep practicing, and then this is where you can able to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sharada, you have got any questions? So how do you feel?
No, there is a kind of table you shown in the data, right? So this kind of table we can send, let's say we are sending some reports. We are attaching some tables or something, let's say it's the dashboard. So this kind of tables we can take the image and we can add, right?
Yeah, you can add. Yes, you can.
That one.
Yep. Shekhar, are you good? How do you feel? Shubhamita? Okay. So you're happy, contentful, and you got the actual feel of what the Power BI and what the best you can able to do it.
Absolutely.
Yes, Shrikant, you're calling me?
To say hi. Okay, I know. Yeah, we are running out of the time. All right, then I'll not
Yeah.
take much of your time. Okay. All right. Take care, and do drop us an email or any
Thank you
queries you
so
have
much,
got anything.
Shrikant.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
All right.
definitely.
Thank you. Thanks everyone. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
Thank you,
Shrikant. Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.